Chapter 65. Soon, the basketball team was divided into two groups. One group was headed by Huagang, and the other group was headed by Xiao Xiao. After all, Huagang was a senior in high school, and he was the only senior in the basketball team. The others were all juniors to him. Out of a kind of worship for seniors, and because he was excellent in all aspects, Huagang quickly gained a group of fans. Huangbo, on the other hand, did not hold back at all. He pulled all of his former friends into Huagang's fan club. Xiao Xiao was even more popular. The popularity he had accumulated over the past year was not just for show. There was almost no one on campus who did not know him, but his fan club was still mostly female. Xiao Xiao did not care. It was not like they were going out to fight. Why would they need so many men? It was just that every time during training, Xiao Xiao's cheerleading voice was obviously higher than Huagang's, because girls' voices were sharper. In the blink of an eye, it was time for the official competition. The venue of the competition was set in a neighboring city next to Nanchuan City. The school specially sent a bus to bring all the team members there. Because the competition lasted for 3 days, they needed to stay there for 2 nights. As expected, there was no doubt that Nanchuan High School was the first without any suspense. Every time the coach only needed to send Huagang or Xiao Xiao to play, they would directly beat their opponents. The disparity in the score was very large, so it was easy for them to reach the finals. Nanchuan High School was playing against a county high school. It had never been on the podium of the provincial league before. This year, it was a dark horse, directly entering the finals. Zhang Deong told Xiao Xiao everything he had heard. I heard that there are 2 main players in the team. They are said to be very powerful. Each of them can score 50 points. They are almost as good as Jordan. The 2 of them worked together to advance from the group stage to the finals. They were invincible. All the teams that played against them were beaten to a pulp. He's so strong. He's almost catching up to me. Xiao Xiao and Zhang Deong were currently seated in the stands. Xiao Xiao looked up at his opponent, but because he was too far away, he couldn't see him clearly. He adjusted his shoelaces, stood up, and said to Zhang Deong, "Get ready to go on stage." In order to prevent Xiao Xiao and Huagang from having any more conflicts, the coach decided to have 1 half and 1 half respectively. Xiao Xiao, on the other hand, was in the first half. As soon as he got on the field, he realized that something was wrong. The opposing players were all wearing black jerseys. The 2 so-called best teammates had blue gas coming out of their heads. It turned out that they were practitioners. No wonder they were so powerful. When the game started, Zhang Deong kicked off and passed the ball to Xiao Xiao. Xiao Xiao took the ball and quickly dribbled to the basket. The 2 practitioners exchanged glances. One rushed up to block Xiao Xiao, and the other waited behind to receive the ball. They thought that they could get it easily, but they didn't expect Xiao Xiao to slide and go around. He even had his back to the backboard. With a backhand throw, the ball flew into the blue basket. A blind throw. The 2 of them were dumbfounded. One of them was still in the position of receiving the ball with both hands. How could he be so fast? Before the other person could react, the ball had already entered the basket. Even a missile couldn't be that fast. This person had no special features other than being a little handsome. He also didn't have the same gas on his head. Could it be that he had special abilities? Xiao Xiao was proud. Ever since he finished practicing all the books he brought from the Devil Realm, he finally found a godly skill, spirit concealment technique. After learning it, he could perfectly hide the devil energy on his body. As long as he didn't have too many emotional fluctuations, the little black gas on his head would be like wearing an invisibility talisman. No one could see him. From the outside, he looked like a normal person. Huagang had been observing him from the sidelines. He also noticed this strange thing. Why did the devil energy on Xiao Xiao's head disappear? Could it be that Yinran had helped him get rid of it? But according to Yinran's character, she wouldn't make such a decision so easily. It was good that there was no devil energy. He could do whatever he wanted. Zhang Deong and Xiao Xiao clapped their hands to celebrate their successful goal. The 2 people on the opposite side stared at Xiao Xiao. They looked like they wanted to see through him. Xiao Xiao smiled at them like a ruffian and hooked his finger at them. He meant to say, "Come on." His arrogance was hard to accept. The next ball was started by the opponents. The two people wanted to test if it was their negligence just now. One person had just hit the ball on the ground twice when he felt a gust of wind blow past him. When he hit the ball for the third time, he only hit air. The other person stared at Xiao Xiao, who had snatched the ball, and rubbed his eyes. Why didn't he see it clearly? It passed in a flash. When the two of them reacted and wanted to chase after him again, the whistle blew, and the ball went in again. The surrounding audience was also stunned. They thought that the two teams' strength was about the same, and there was a possibility of a fight. They didn't expect that they would be completely beaten at the beginning of the game. When did such a powerful person come to Nanchuan High School? He was simply a man in the air. This was their school hunk. Xiao Xiao was very famous on their tieba. He was also the champion of the last National Information Science Olympiad. He was smart, good at sports, and so handsome. How could he let others live? Next, it was time for Xiao Xiao to show off his handsomeness and beat them. The other team's teammates hated Xiao Xiao to the core. Even if he was good, he couldn't play with them. Unfortunately, Xiao Xiao was like this. The basketball in his hands was like an embroidered ball in a martial arts competition. He did whatever he wanted to do. All kinds of dunking movements were all captured by his cameraman Jiechi. His lean waistline was faintly discernible as he jumped. The muscles on his arms arched because of the shot emitted a strong hormonal attraction. Every time he jumped, the lines of his calves were infinitely elongated. They were slender and powerful, rising in the air like a spiral. What's more, Xiao Xiao would dribble the ball and take advantage of the gap to blow kisses to the audience. Wherever there was an audience, it was his home court. The audience below screamed excitedly and were a little crazy. Yanran looked at the real-time broadcast on the tieba and directly spat. He could play with you anywhere. The corners of her mouth involuntarily rose. Nanchuan High School was bound to win. Various awards had been posted on the tieba quickly. In the end, Nanchuan High School led by 38 points to 12 points in the first half. The big gap in the score made the other team's players dejected. In the second half, it was Huagang's turn to play. He had already seen the blue gas above the head of the other team's players. They should be the same as him. He didn't have time to think carefully about why the black gas above Xiao Xiao's head disappeared. He saw 4 black holes staring at him like the muzzles of guns. The other team's players didn't expect that Nanchuan High School would learn to switch players. This was their chance. The two cultivators didn't get any advantage in front of Xiao Xiao. In the second half, they couldn't miss the opportunity presented to them by God. The two of them vowed to wash away their shame. Xiao Xiao won beautifully in the first half, but it also brought a lot of pressure to Huagang. He and Xiao Xiao were originally competitors. Although it was said that Nanchuan High School had a competition with other teams. In fact, the coach's arrangement was also a competition between him and Xiao Xiao. In the second half, he would only win if he got more than 38 points. He didn't expect Xiao Xiao to suddenly become so strong. Before, when he played against him, the two of them were at most tied. He didn't know why, but today's Xiao Xiao made him feel a sense of crisis more than one level higher. It was time to kick off. The two cultivators were determined to win this game and gave it their all. Like cheetahs, they quickly rushed toward Huagang from the two corners. When they were close, they opened their bloody mouths and seemed to want to bite off Huagang's hand. The three of them used magic, one blocking and two attacking. The friction of sports shoes on the plastic floor was the best stimulant in this game. The intensity of the competition between the few of them was comparable to the heat of a fire. When the three of them were equal in strength, one person couldn't beat the cooperation of two people after all. The two ferocious leopards were merciless when they saw their prey. Under their claws, there was only fresh blood and meat, not a whole antelope. Huagang soon fell into a disadvantage. The points of the other team's players rose slowly, like a direct elevator that pressed the button to the top floor. It didn't stop at all in the middle. The surrounding audience shook their heads in disappointment. They saw that the score of the two teams had been tied. This time, someone took the lead in shouting Xiao Xiao's name. Xiao Xiao, Xiao Xiao, Xiao Xiao. The audience wanted to let Xiao Xiao play. The coach was also burning with anxiety. At this time, he no longer cared about the arrangement of Huagang. and Xiao Xiao that he had promised before. He directly replaced Huigang. When the two leopards saw an even stronger opponent, they had no choice but to withdraw their bloody claws and retreat to their defensive positions. Where Xiao Xiao was, they couldn't hunt. They could only ensure their safety by sealing the hands of their prey. When Xiao Xiao and Huigang exchanged places, Xiao Xiao smiled proudly. It seemed that his cultivation had really improved. He finally got his revenge for being beaten up last time. Without any suspense, Xiao Xiao directly took the second half, as if he was taking something out of his bag. He was so relaxed that it was as if the arena was his vegetable garden. The two cultivators wanted to hide when they saw Xiao Xiao now. They really didn't expect to lose so badly. They no longer had the excitement they had when they first arrived at the competition. Now, they only had to pack their bags and prepare to leave with their tails between their legs. After they were done with everything, they were shocked by Huigang, who had been there the whole time, in a very secluded place at the corner of the stadium. First, let me introduce myself. I'm Huigang from Nanchuan High School. You two did well. Don't feel too depressed. When the two saw that it was the person they had defeated in the previous match, they returned to normal. You're also a cultivator like us, right? Yes, I'm also a cultivator. But I want to tell you that that person is a devil. He's the nemesis of us cultivators. The two were shocked. How can this be? We didn't see anything. It's normal that you can't see anything. I don't know what method he used, but I can't see the devil aura above his head. But I can tell you for sure that his devil aura was very strong. It could go straight to the roof. Huigang said to the two seriously. Chapter 66. The two of them opened their mouths wide in disbelief. If there were such heinous people in the Eastern administration, they would have been dealt with long ago. How could there be such a serious problem in the South? Doesn't the administration do anything about it? I'm not in a position to comment on this. I'm just a cultivator. I'm only telling you this to make you feel better. Don't take this matter to heart. You're wrong, one of the cultivators said with righteous indignation. I'm even more upset about this matter now. I want to report it to our Eastern Administrative Bureau. People like this would have long been crippled of all their magic and become ordinary people over there. Huigang was very satisfied with what he heard. However, he still pretended to be in a difficult position and said, "It's fine as long as you know what to do. There must be a reason why the administration doesn't care. We'll know what to do. Thank you for telling us." The two cultivators and Huigang added each other on WeChat. Because of this little secret, the three of them seemed to have become much closer. Looking at the two of them muttering as they walked away, the atmosphere around Huigang became even darker. After the competition, everyone had to stay in the local area for one more night. The next morning, a bus would bring them back to school. "Brother Qiao, it's rare that you're here. Let's go to the night market tonight. I heard that the snacks here are very famous. I've been keeping my stomach empty during dinner, so I'm ready to eat a big meal tonight." Zhang Daong was an idiot. He wanted to go out and relax after the competition. "I don't usually think you're so greedy. Let's go. We have nothing to do anyway." They called a few more people and set off for the night market together. The night market in this city was very popular. It had everything from small goods to snacks. Zhang Daong held a skewer in his left hand and a sugar-coated hawthorn in his right. Xiao Xiao directly took a lamb scorpion and was gnawing on it. "This tastes really good." Zhang Daong stuffed his mouth full and couldn't speak clearly. The few people beside him were also eating happily. "There's a coffee shop up ahead. Let's go in and have a seat. The food is so spicy. Let's get something cold to quench our thirst," someone suggested. The few of them were also tired from walking, so they went in to take a break. Laughing and joking, they each ordered a drink and drank contentedly. Not long after he sat down, he heard the door of the coffee shop being pushed open. The sound of wind chimes rang out, followed by the voices of a few rough men. "I'm so King unlucky to have met such a nemesis." Before he could finish his sentence, it was as if he was suddenly choked. Xiao Xiao looked up and saw that they were the two cultivators he had beaten up. Xiao Xiao didn't care. These two people were defeated by him. Unexpectedly, when the two of them saw Xiao Xiao, Their first reaction was that enemies were bound to meet on a narrow road. The opportunity for revenge had come. The two of them directly sat down next to Xiao Xiao. The fierceness in their eyes couldn't be hidden. Zhang Daong saw that something was wrong. He immediately stood up and walked between Xiao Xiao and the two of them. What do you two want? Nothing. We just want to talk to this brother. Oh, you want to talk to me? Talk about what? Haven't you played enough on the court? On the court, we're not good enough. We can't blame others. We want to talk to you about something else. If you have the guts, come out with us. Zhang Taiyong hurriedly stopped them. Do you have any sportsmanship? A loss is a loss. Are you still trying to get back at us? Xiao Xiao stopped Zhang Daong. It's okay. They can't do anything. Xiao Xiao and the two of them came to the door. The two of them didn't say anything and directly attacked. However, they underestimated Xiao Xiao's strength. On the court, their skills were not as good as others, so they accepted it. But when it came to fighting, the two of them weren't bragging. They had been practicing since they were young, and had been tortured by the elders in their families. Naturally, their kung fu was quite good. Xiao Xiao threw a straight hook. Just as it was about to hit the other person's cheek, his vision blurred. Then Xiao Xiao disappeared. The other person directly kicked over. He thought that it was impossible to dodge this kick. But he didn't expect that Xiao Xiao would directly pull his companion in front of him and use him as a cushion. Good fellow. This kick landed solidly on his companion's chest. At this moment, Xiao Xiao's own spiritual power fluctuations were a little provoked by these two people. Some of the devil aura above his head was seen by these two people. The two of them glanced at each other. It seemed that Hua Gang was telling the truth. Zhang Daong and a few others had already followed them out. Before they could stop them, they saw the two sides had already started fighting. Several people quickly surrounded them. Zhang Daong shouted, "What the hell do you want? Do you want to fight? You think the two of you can beat so many of us?" Soon a group of passers-by also came to watch. These two people saw that they couldn't win. They had already achieved their goal. After saying a few harsh words, they found an excuse and left dejectedly. Xiao Zhao's people were so confused. They came and left in a hurry. After saying a few words, they fled. What kind of trick was this? In the eyes of these two people, they could only plan for the long term. However, they had a terrifying understanding of Xiao Zhao's strength. Brother Xiao, let's go back. Today's fun was all ruined by these two people. What a bummer. Zhang Daong looked at the two people who ran away in a hurry. His good mood was completely ruined. Xiao Xiao also felt the same. He had a feeling that these two people were up to something. When they returned to the hotel, they went back to their rooms. Because Xiao Xiao had eaten too much, he felt that his stomach was a little full. It would definitely be uncomfortable to lie down and sleep now. Moreover, because of the competition, he had not been able to cultivate for the past 2 days. He might as well go to the roof of the hotel to get some fresh air and cultivate his spiritual power. This city was close to a mountain, so the spiritual power should be abundant. It was a good place to cultivate. This hotel was 15 stories high. Xiao Xiao looked at the night scene below from the roof. The lights were dim, hazy and dreamy. He found a place to sit cross-legged. There was a partition in front of him, hiding his body in the darkness. Xiao Xiao calmed down. He drew a circle with his hands and used the spirit attraction technique. The surrounding air seemed to be pulled by a hand, forming an invisible vortex. The spiritual power that overflowed from this vortex rushed into his body from all directions. It was indeed better than lying on the bed. The spiritual power here was obviously purer and thicker than in Nanchuan. It entered Xiao Zhao's limbs and bones through breathing. In this way, Xiao Xiao gradually entered a state of empty meditation. His thoughts had drifted far away. Through his recent cultivation, he had made great progress. He could already vaguely feel that every meridian in his body had become transparent under his aura. He could feel his beating heart, and he could also feel the blood flowing freely in his body. Even the little tadpoles in his mind were running around in various rooms. The corners of his mouth rose. It seemed that they liked the spiritual power here. He slowly focused his consciousness on his dantian. In his dantian, there was originally a small tightly wrapped lotus. At this time it was slowly blooming. He could feel that in the heart of the lotus, There was a small round bead emitting a faint golden light. According to the book, this small bead would slowly take the shape of a human, grow up, and form spiritual consciousness. Xiao Zhao's path of cultivation was still very long, but he finally found the way. It was not like before when he was just lying on the bed to cultivate his body and mind. When he was immersed in this state of constant nourishment of spiritual power, his ears suddenly moved. He heard the door of the rooftop open, followed by the sound of two people's footsteps. Someone came. Xiao Xiao wanted to withdraw his spiritual power. After a cycle, he planned to leave. "No, don't touch me." A girl's anxious voice sounded. If a girl says she doesn't want it, then she wants it. Don't pretend to be pure. Don't drink so much. A boy's impolite voice sounded. This voice sounded more and more familiar. Xiao Xiao recalled the feeling of tearing his neck. The two people's movements seemed to be getting more and more intense. Soon the girl was pushed against the wall. It was obvious that the boy did not care about the girl's wishes, and started to use force. The two people's bodies collided, and the sound of resistance became more and more obvious. The girl's whimpers overflowed from her throat. It was obvious that her mouth was gagged. From Xiao Zhao's angle, he could hear the girl's head hitting the wall. F***ck. Scum. Xiao Xiao finally remembered. This was Huang Bo from class 6. Last time when they were running, he used underhanded methods. Xiao Xiao did not expect that he would encounter him again. Xiao Xiao did not hesitate, and directly walked behind the two people. At this time, he saw Huang Bo's perverted heart. He pulled down the girl's clothes on her shoulders, revealing a large area of white and tender skin. The girl's hair was messy at this time, and large drops of tears fell from her eyes. Her two hands were constantly blocking, but it was useless. After all, the girl's strength was limited. At this time, she was completely at a disadvantage. Performing an erotic play in the middle of the night? Xiao Zhao's annoying voice sounded from behind, scaring Huang Bo. He quickly let go of the girl and looked back. A handsome figure was so dazzling in the dark. He could not help but curse in his heart. How unlucky, how could it be Xiao Xiao? He fiercely stared at Xiao Xiao. Mind your own business. The girl saw that a savior had arrived. She quickly waved away Huang Bo's hand and fled behind Xiao Xiao. You two are in love. I definitely don't care. Not only do I not care, but I also gave you a condom. Now that the girl is obviously unwilling, what do you want to do? Rape. Xiao Xiao continued to say carelessly. You're still underage, aren't you being too impulsive? Xiao Xiao curled his finger, and with a bit of magic in his hand, he flicked it towards Huang Bo's forehead. Huang Bo staggered from the bounce and covered his head. He knew that there was no chance for him today. He reluctantly looked at the girl, opened the door of the corridor, and escaped. Go back. Drink less in the future. Xiao Xiao did not look at the girl after he finished speaking, and directly went downstairs. The girl's hands tightly clutched her clothes. Her eyes were filled with tears. Her chin trembled as she sat crookedly on the ground. Chapter 67. The next morning, the sun was shining brightly. Xiao Zhao's bus was already headed straight for Nanchuan like a Fergana horse. Huang Bo stared at Xiao Zhao's lazy sitting posture in the front row. His heart was itching with hatred. Last night's good thing had all been ruined by him. He thought about how hard it had been for him to force that girl to drink so much. It was about to happen. Xiao Xiao was becoming more and more of an eyesore to him. Hua Gang was the same at this time. He pulled down the brim of his cap to cover his eyes, and curled up in the seat. Yesterday he followed the two cultivators, and saw the conflict between him and Xiao Xiao. He knew that his first step had been successful. The rest would depend on their performance. The bus drove back to the school in silence. They were warmly welcomed by the principal. Once again they stood under the national flag and spoke. Nanchuan High School's motto is to make contributions through time. This is something that everyone strives to achieve. And this time, one of our classmates scored 50 points on his own, allowing our school to win the championship this time. His contribution cannot go unnoticed. That is Xiao Xiao from class 2 to 3. Thunderous applause sounded from the audience. Everyone had already seen Xiao Zhao's elegance from the Tieba. Hua Gang's elegance was completely overshadowed. At this time, He stood on the stage and saw Xiao Xiao, who had always been on top of him. He was in high spirits and in the prime of his life. Thousands of alpacas ran wildly in his heart. Lively and regular school life began again. School days were like this. If there were no activities, then the biggest activity would be exams. Xiao Xiao and the others ushered in their first big exam in 3 months. He was no longer afraid of exams. Exams were just a matter of reorganizing the little tadpoles in his brain. All the knowledge was at his fingertips. Brother Qiao, it's time for exams again. Don't you read? Zhang Daong held a book and looked at Xiao Xiao with a bitter face. I've been addicted to something else recently. Books can stand aside. Xiao Xiao held the pen in his hand in her mouth and swung it back and forth lazily, like she was on a swing. Brother Qiao, you got 50th place last time. How many places can you get this time? Jiechi asked curiously. I'm also very curious. Did Brother Qiao use his brain to install programs? Do you still have the energy to pretend to have some high school knowledge? Ma Xiaoxian was also curious about Xiao Zhao's answer. Knowledge is interconnected. Let's see if your brother Qiao can take first place this time. Xiao Xiao boasted shamelessly. Brother Qiao, are you saying that you can do better than Sister Yanran? Xiao Xiao thought about it and agreed. He had bragged too much. Then I'll get second place. What if I don't perform well and get first place? Would Yanran be angry? Xiao Xiao licked his face and patted Yanran's shoulder in front of him, making her raise her head from the sea of questions. When she looked back, Xiao Xiao gave her a big smile. His smile was bright and flamboyant. His 8 standard teeth were milky white under the sunlight. His 2 seductive peach blossom eyes were blinking at her. The shadow cast by his eyelashes was like a small black fan. Yanran was stunned for a moment. She always felt that Xiao Xiao looked better every time she looked at him. What kind of hormones did this person eat? It really made people jealous. Yanran, if I steal your first place this time, will you be unhappy? What's there to be unhappy about? Isn't it good if you get first place? I don't need to pair up to help you. Yanran said faintly. Then I'll get last place. I like it when you pair up to help me. Uffed. The surrounding audience burst out laughing. Brother Qiao, it's impossible for you to get last place in the exam. Just look at your brain that suddenly exploded. With your sudden burst of brain power, unless you write your name as someone else's, it's impossible. Wang Jingyan accidentally said the truth. Xiao Xiao touched his nose. It seemed to be the case. Soon it was time for the big exam. This time, Xiao Xiao finally changed to another exam room. He was no longer the last one. Based on his last score of 50th place, he had been assigned to an exam room in the middle of the front. He watched as Yanran walked towards exam room 1. He couldn't help but want to follow her. But after taking 2 steps, he remembered that his exam room wasn't in that building. Next time, I'll be able to go with you. Xiao Xiao walked into the classroom casually. Everyone greeted him. It seemed that he was really popular. No matter which exam room he was in, everyone knew him. Xiao Xiao smiled as he found his seat and sat down. Recently, when he was cultivating, he did feel that his spiritual power had increased very quickly. It seemed that expanding his circle of friends was really a wonderful thing. Last night, when he used his inner sense, he found that the small pearl in the center of the lotus had grown. It was round and was simply a golden luminous pearl. He ran to the storage room at home and took out the luminous pearl to compare. He found that it was still the cutest one in his body. At that time, he brought these treasures from the demon world. Just one of them was enough to make him rich. The other treasures could only be put away in the storage room. It was really a waste of natural resources. In this exam room, no one discussed cheating with him in advance. In the entire exam room, no one passed him a small note. Everyone frowned and wrote quickly. It seemed that in the entire exam room, Xiao Xiao was the only one who was relaxed and casual. It was indeed so. Other than his hand feeling a little sore from writing, the little tadpoles were as if they were facing a great enemy at first. Later, only a few tadpoles were left to deal with it. The others ran off to play. Master, your exam questions are too simple. Isn't this an insult to our intelligence? Xiao Xiao thought to himself. Your master's intelligence couldn't even answer 10 questions before. In this way, the little tadpoles finished dealing with the questions. Xiao Xiao saw that there was nothing to stay in the exam room, so he directly handed in the paper in advance. All the other grades in the school had finished their exams. Today, only their grade was left to take the exam. The usual bustling noise was no longer there. The school regained its tranquility. Xiao Xiao turned around and walked towards the library. Xiao Xiao liked the excitement of being the center of attention. He also liked this simple and plain tranquility. He was wondering what reward he would ask for from Yanran if he did well in this exam. Last time, she didn't agree to take a walk with him. This time, she shouldn't be able to run away, right? As he walked to the library. There were very few people in the library. It seemed that after the exam, everyone went out to go crazy. Xiao Xiao was a little surprised by himself. In the past, he would have slipped away to play games. Now the first thing he thought of was to read. He smiled and shook his head. It seemed that he was greatly influenced by Yanran. He heard the bell that signaled the end of the exam. At this time, he had already finished reading an entire book. He stretched and wanted to go to the bathroom to relax. At this time, there was no one in the library. He swayed his arms and went to the second floor. Only the sound of his footsteps could be heard in the corridor. After he went to relieve himself, he was about to go upstairs. Suddenly, he heard something in the storeroom next door suddenly bang on the door. He looked around. There was no one. He put his ear to the door and listened carefully. He found that there was no sound. It seemed that he had heard wrongly. He was about to turn around and leave when he heard the sound of footsteps on the door again. He felt that something was wrong. He twisted the door of the storeroom and found that the door was locked from the inside. There was a faint whimper of a girl coming from inside, but soon, it couldn't be heard. Xiao Xiao's sensitive nerves immediately reacted. He kicked the door of the storeroom. With a bang, the door opened. Sure enough, there was someone inside, and they were doing something bad. He saw a girl. At this time, her upper body was almost completely naked. Her skirt was pulled up to her waist, and her mouth was tightly covered. A boy was lying on her back. He used his hand to pull the girl and wanted to go to the corner. Xiao Xiao strode forward, grabbed the boy's collar and dragged him out. Huang Bo, it's you again. It seems that you won't cry until you see the coffin. At this time, Huang Bo was angry because of another good thing being interrupted. He shouted at Xiao Xiao with all his might. I told you to mind your own business. You just can't let me go. After saying that, he began to raise his fist and swung it at Xiao Xiao. You just can't change. Xiao Xiao caught the fist with one hand. He didn't hold back anymore and began to beat this scumbag. Xiao Xiao's strength was very strong. Huang Bo was able to dodge a few at first, but soon, he was beaten to the ground by his heavy punches. Huang Bo was beaten until he cried for his father and mother. He didn't dare to challenge Xiao Xiao's authority anymore. Brother Xiao, I was wrong. I was wrong. Please forgive me. I won't dare to do it again. Forgive me. I was just dizzy. In the end, he didn't even have the strength to speak. He was beaten unconscious by Xiao Xiao. Xiao Xiao saw that the scumbag had fainted and walked in front of the girl. At this time, the girl had already wrapped the clothes around her body. She raised her face with tears in her eyes. Xiao Xiao knew at a glance that it was the girl on the rooftop that day. Why are you with him again? Xiao Xiao frowned. Why didn't this girl have any sense of self-protection? He forced me. I had no choice. If I didn't do as he said, he would find someone to cause trouble in my shop. Did you do it willingly? How could I do it willingly? The girl answered hurriedly. Then go to the school and report him. Otherwise, there will be no other way. This time was a coincidence. I won't be able to save you a third time. Thank you. I will think about it. Xiao Xiao saw that the poor girl's clothes had been torn. He took off his jacket and covered her body. Hurry up and go back. If you see him in the future, avoid him. Tell your parents not to be afraid of him going to your shop. If you really can't, call the police. The girl sat on the ground miserably. She listened to Xiao Xiao's words and nodded while sobbing. She kept thanking him. Before Xiao Xiao left, he kicked Huang Bo on the ground. Seeing that he was showing signs of waking up, he said to the girl, Hurry up and go. He will wake up soon. At this time the girl sat up straight. As if she had made a great decision, She knelt down in front of Xiao Xiao. Please help me keep this a secret. If I tell anyone, my life will be ruined. Xiao Xiao hesitated for a moment. You will encourage the bad guys. What if you can't escape from his evil clutches in the future? But girls are always weak. I still have to marry in the future. If this is exposed, I don't want to live anymore. If you don't help me, then I will die here. After saying that, the girl was determined to slam her head against the table. Xiao Xiao quickly stopped her and reluctantly agreed to her request. After the girl left, Xiao Xiao didn't care about Huang Bo on the ground anymore and left. At a place where he didn't see, Hua Gang was hiding at the door of the men's bathroom. He was holding a camera and recording this scene clearly. Chapter 68. Brother Qiao, did you hear a magpie when you went out this morning? Ma Xiaoxian rushed in from outside the classroom. I didn't hear a magpie, but I heard a loudspeaker blaring next to my ear. It was so noisy. I just wanted to sleep for a while. Xiao Xiao impatiently propped his head up from the table. He had slept a little late last night. First, he had read for a while, and second, he had cultivated. After that, he felt that he had entered a good state. The small bead in his dantian had a tendency to expand, so he simply ran to the forest in the suburbs and mixed his demonic energy with the spiritual energy in the mountains. The two were fully nourished, exchanged, and fused together. He just sat like that for a while. He felt that not much time had passed, but when he opened his eyes, he found that the sky had already begun to brighten. Brother Qiao, you can't be so annoyed with me. It wasn't easy for me to eavesdrop on the teacher and hear about your results. Don't you care at all? Ma Xiaoxian was called by Xiao Xiao and felt a little wronged. Oh, the results are out. Zhang Deong and Wang Jinyan immediately gathered around. I only heard Brother Qiao's results. The others haven't come out yet. When the time comes, you guys can go look at the bulletin board. Then how did I do? Xiao Xiao was also a little interested. Was I first or second? Brother Qiao, can you be a little more humble? Did you not think about getting third or lower? I really didn't think about it. Xiao Xiao answered honestly. If he got third or lower, the little tadpoles in his brain would die of shame. All right. Ma Xiaoxian couldn't keep it in suspense anymore. It was too boring. He guessed it right away. Brother Qiao, you are second this time, 2 points lower than Sister Yanran. Wow, that's too fierce. Brother Qiao, you jumped from 80 to second. How can the other 78 survive? Fortunately, I didn't surpass Yanran. Otherwise, I really don't know how to explain it to her. Xiao Xiao sighed as he held his chest. What do you want to explain to me? What did you do wrong? Yanran heard the end of the story and sat down directly. How could I? I'm so obedient. I won't do anything wrong. Yanran, I got second place this time. Do you have any reward for me? Xiao Xiao took the initiative to get in front of Yanran and smiled brightly. Isn't it normal for you to get second place? There's even a reward. I can finally stop caring about you. This is the reward, do you like it? Yanran glanced at Xiao Xiao, narrowed her eyes, and let out a fake smile. Don't. I like it when you control me. If you don't give me a reward, I'll get the last place again. Xiao Xiao began to act shamelessly. You try. Yanran glared at him and turned her head to ignore him. Soon, Miss Zhu carried a stack of papers into the classroom. He seemed to be in a very good mood with a face full of smiles. Even the chatter of the classmates was tolerated by Miss Zhu for more than 5 minutes. Today, I want to announce a piece of good news to everyone. The second year 3 class got first place in the grade in this exam. The happiest thing is that our average score directly increased by 3 points. His eyes overflowed with joy, and the entire classroom was infected. The students noticed that Miss Zhu's back was straighter than usual. And the one who improved the fastest in this exam is our class's Xiao Xiao. Next, let's invite Xiao Xiao to come up on stage and talk about his learning experience. Xiao Xiao didn't think that this would happen again. It seemed like this was going to become a routine. He walked up on stage and revealed a charming smile to the entire class. Then he directly said, I did well in the exam because I had a good teacher. Miss Zhu smiled and nodded. Her back was even straighter. Then she heard Xiao Xiao say, That's the teacher that I paired up with to help Yanran. Miss Ju's smile instantly froze, but it was only for a second. Then Xiao Xiao said, "It's because of Yanran that I picked up my interest in learning again. It's because of Yanran that I built up a stronger confidence in life. It's because of Yanran that I love my life more. It's because of Yanran." At first, the students were listening attentively, but after listening to him, they all wanted to cover their eyes and ears. This guy who found every opportunity to confess in person was really unbearable. Miss Ju interrupted Xiao Zhao's speech. Okay. No matter what, our decision at that time was correct. The first place helped the last place. But we didn't expect the jump to be so big. The last place actually rose to second place. This is really a miracle of Nanchuan High School. Yanran, you have contributed greatly. Yanran was already used to Xiao Zhao's various flattery. She didn't have much of an expression. Instead, she stood up and said to the teacher, "It's all because of your good arrangement. It's also because of his own diligence. It has nothing to do with me." Yanran was really good at talking. The teacher finally nodded in satisfaction. "Don't you like Tieba? You must post Xiao Zhao's progress on Tieba, and let the other students learn more. This is such an inspirational performance." Below, a student interrupted. "Miss Zhu, you also look at our Tieba?" "Hee, of course I look. This way I can understand you better." The teacher was still talking on the stage, and at this time, someone secretly put up a video on Tieba. The entire class, who had been overjoyed by Xiao Zhao's test results, gradually shut their mouths. They looked at the teacher on the stage, and the high-spirited Xiao Xiao. Their expression slowly changed. Everyone's expression became awkward. They felt like they were sitting on pins and needles. The whole classroom quieted down. Except for the teacher, all the students fell into silence. Finally, class was over. Zhang Deong, Wang Jinyan, Ma Xiaoxian, and the others couldn't hold it in anymore. They rushed to Xiao Zhao's side and couldn't wait to say to him, "Brother Xiao, quickly look at Tieba." "Look at what? I'm so sleepy. Is there anything fun?" "Brother Xiao, quickly look. Something big happened." Zhang Deong directly opened the Tieba. His phone was stretched out in front of Xiao Zhao's eyes. Zhang Deong couldn't control himself at this time. He was afraid of himself. Is this true? A post on Tieba was already flooded. Hashtag Xiao Xiao raped a girl confirmed. Hashtag there was a short video attached below. In the video, a girl was sitting miserably in the corner. It could be seen that her clothes were torn, and the snow-white scratches on her shoulders pierced through the half-covered clothes and hurt the audience's eyes. At this time, the girl was crying and shaking her head. Xiao Xiao was standing in front of the girl with his clothes intact. The two of them were talking about something. The video only had images and no sound. It made people's imagination run wild. The girl's face was specially processed and couldn't be seen clearly. In the end, Xiao Xiao took off his clothes and covered the girl's body. There were countless comments below. "Gluten that likes to eat dumplings. This is simply unbelievable. This is simply framing. Brother Xiao wouldn't do such a thing. I believe him. Candy Daddy, the truth is right in front of you. You have to believe it. Listening to the wind is rain. If it wasn't rape, why is the girl crying so miserably? Camel riding a horse. I didn't expect Xiao Xiao to be such a person. He's simply a scumbag. Rose grass, what about this girl? Why don't you sue him? We support you. Skinnier than a pig. I usually see Xiao Xiao as a playboy. I didn't expect him to be worse than a beast. Waves with you. Xiao Xiao is just a little talkative, but he would never do anything overboard to us. Skinnier than a pig. That's because you're hard to swallow. The girl in the video is delicate and cute, soft and boneless. Who wouldn't be tempted by her? There were all kinds of comments on the forum. After Xiao Xiao saw it, the hidden black aura on top of his head was stimulated by his emotions and came out. He didn't say a word, and directly walked to the door of the classroom. He hadn't taken 2 steps when he heard Wen Jing call him timidly from behind. "Xiao Xiao, Miss Zhu wants you to go to her office." At this time, all the classes were in class. Miss Zhu was the only one waiting for Xiao Xiao in her office. His face was no longer happy and joyful. Instead, it was incomparably heavy. When Xiao Xiao came in, Miss Zhu's eyes were as deep as the sea. It was like a whirlpool that wanted to suck Xiao Xiao in. He suppressed his anger. His hands were slightly trembling. He picked up the glass of water and took a sip. Then he stared at Xiao Xiao. Is the video on the forum real? The video is real, but it's not what you think, Xiao Xiao replied in a low voice. When Miss Zhu heard Xiao Xiao's reply, her hands trembled. She picked up the glass in her hand and suddenly threw it at Xiao Xiao's feet. The water in the glass immediately soaked Xiao Xiao's sneakers. You actually did something like that. Do you know how old you are? This is a crime. Miss Zhu's throat felt like it had been pierced by a needle. She was so angry that even her voice was trembling. Xiao Xiao looked up abruptly. He knew that Miss Zhu had misunderstood him. Miss Zhu, you misunderstood. That's not what I meant. The video is real. But I didn't do anything bad. Xiao Xiao's expression was solemn and serious. Then tell me what the situation was like at that time. Miss Zhu was extremely anxious. Her forehead was already sweating. Xiao Xiao opened his mouth. He suddenly remembered what the girl had said to him. If he told the truth, would he harm this young life? At this juncture he hesitated. If a young girl in her prime lost her life because of him, then his sin would be too great. In the end, Xiao Xiao closed his eyes and said nothing. He just repeatedly emphasized that he didn't do anything bad. Miss Zhu didn't get the truth she wanted. He was so angry that he was about to faint. He sat down on his chair, his heart trembling nonstop. He felt that what he needed right now was a quick-acting heart pill. In the end, Xiao Xiao bowed to Miss Zhu. I'm sorry, teacher. Please believe me. I really didn't do anything. After saying that, he didn't explain anything. He turned around and left the teacher's office. When he turned the corner, he saw Yanran waiting for him with cold eyes. It wasn't the usual indifference. Instead, it was a piercing disappointment. The little purple bun on top of her head also had her hands on her hips. Her eyes were burning with anger as she stared at him. Chapter 69. Looking at the torrential waves in Yanran's eyes, Xiao Xiao felt inexplicably guilty. He opened his mouth and wanted to say something, but Yanran didn't wait for him to speak. She turned around and walked down the stairs. Xiao Xiao was like an obedient child, silently following behind. He wanted to walk faster and walk side by side with Yanran, but seeing how strong Yanran's aura was, he didn't dare to. In the end, he hung his head dejectedly and followed behind Yanran by 2 steps. Just like that, the two of them walked in silence. Quite a number of students saw it and pointed at it from the side. Yanran didn't seem to hear anything, but the intermittent accusations and doubts clearly entered Xiao Xiao's ears. The eyes that others looked at him were no longer filled with worship, but with disgust and even resentment. Xiao Xiao looked at Yanran walking in front of him. The little purple bun on her head was also as cold as a police officer, with her hands on her hips and staring at him and the surrounding audience. This was a bit difficult to pass. Yanran walked into the forest of the school, stopped and turned around. She looked at Xiao Xiao without saying anything, but her cold eyes made the temperature of the entire forest drop by 5 degrees. Yanran, it's not what you think. Everything in the video is fake. Xiao Xiao pondered for a long time and finally squeezed out a complete sentence. No one in the video spoke at all. Yanran coldly replied, her eyes like knives slashing at Xiao Xiao. That's not what I meant. I meant that the title in the video is fake. Xiao Xiao felt that his IQ was not enough. He couldn't help but blame the little tadpoles in his brain. At this critical moment, none of them came out to help him. They all covered their faces and hid in their rooms, afraid of being implicated. You mean the title is fake? Is the video real? Yanran's words were as sharp as a knife. The video is real, but it has been edited. Xiao Xiao's IQ was finally online, but at this moment, he was so anxious that he was sweating. How could this be explained? The more he explained, the more confused he became. Tell me the cause and effect. Calm and wise, Yanran's body at this time was vividly reflected in her. Xiao Xiao's hesitation in front of his teacher did not exist in front of Yanran. He believed that Yanran wouldn't tell anyone. But he still added, I can tell you, but you have to keep it a secret for that girl. Yanran's eyes instantly narrowed. She raised her hand and touched her neck. Xiao Xiao was startled by Yanran's action. and couldn't help but touch her own neck. Yin ran, after I tell you, you won't chop me up, right? Xiao Xiao began to beg for mercy. As long as you didn't do anything bad, I won't chop you up. But if it's because of the devil's aura, then don't blame me. Yinran's words were like an ice blade, incomparably sharp. Xiao Xiao was a bit hurt. You don't trust me that much? Speak. Yinran was already impatient and suddenly shouted. Xiao Xiao was scared and he pursed his lips. Yinran, it's like this. That day in the library, Huang Bo wanted to rape this girl, but I found out. I saved her, but I don't know who secretly took a video. Then why wasn't Huang Bo in the video? At that time, I had already knocked Huang Bo out. Then who took the video? How would I know? I didn't know at all. I thought I did a good deed. Who is that girl? I don't know her either. Then what are you going to do now? Did you tell your teacher? No, at that time, the girl begged me not to tell anyone. She said that if I told anyone, her life would be ruined. At that time, she wanted to commit suicide. Later I stopped her and she knelt to me. In the end I agreed. Xiao Zhao's voice became lower and lower. The more Yinran listened, the tighter her frown became. How do you prove what you said? Yinran was now as cold as a police officer interrogating her prisoner. Find Huang Bo or find that girl. Xiao Zhao's mind suddenly flashed, as if he had an idea. Yinran didn't say anything. She didn't say that she believed him, but she also didn't say that she didn't believe him. Seeing that Yinran didn't say anything, Xiao Xiao felt uncertain. He reached out and wanted to grab Yinran's arm, but Yinran's hand clearly moved away. Xiao Xiao couldn't help but panic. Yinran, you have to believe me. What I said is true. I'll go find Huang Bo now. After saying that, he didn't wait for Yinran's reply, and turned to run out of the forest. Huang Bo wasn't in class. Xiao Xiao looked around the school and asked around, but no one saw Huang Bo. At this time, all the students looked at him with a somewhat evasive gaze. Some even deliberately avoided him. Xiao Xiao was now like a headless fly, running around the internet cafe in front of the school gate. After looking for an entire afternoon, he still couldn't find Huang Bo. In the end, he could only go home and throw himself on the bed. For the first time, he felt a sense of powerlessness, an inexplicable sense of powerlessness. There was a lot of scolding under the post, and there were also a lot of voices supporting him. However, they were quickly scolded to the point where he couldn't see a shadow. He clearly felt that he was losing some of his spiritual energy. He probably lost fans in his circle of friends. What was going on? He had clearly done a good thing, but it was twisted like this. If he found out who made this video, he would definitely twist that person's head off. He remembered that during the previous competition, someone had also released a video, and it was all to defame him. He remembered that Huagang admitted to attacking him that night, but it was to test his demonic energy. There was no evidence to prove that he was the one who made the video. Xiao Zhao's heart was still full of doubts. He thought that this Huagang was a sinister person, but Yinran had always emphasized that he was righteous. Could it be that Huagang had been following him all this time? But this time, it happened to Huang Bo. Could it be related to Huagang as well? His head was hurting from all the random thoughts. The little tadpoles in his brain were okay with studying, but when it came to solving cases, they seemed to be lacking in intelligence. Xiao Xiao thought about it and entered his dream. The next morning, he rushed to grade 12 class 6. After asking around, he found out that Huang Bo hadn't been in class for the past few days. He heard that he was sick and hospitalized. Could it be that he was beaten up by him that day? Although he had hit him hard that day, it shouldn't have been so serious. He should be hiding on purpose. He started to look for the girl all over the school again. But in these two encounters, Xiao Xiao didn't take a good look at the girl's appearance. Now that he didn't know her name, it was like looking for a needle in a haystack. The atmosphere in the class was also very strange. Zhang Daong and the others wanted to ask, but didn't dare to. Xiao Xiao didn't tell them either. He didn't know when this awkward atmosphere would end. Xiao Xiao, come out for a moment. Miss Zhu called Xiao Xiao from the window. Xiao Xiao had another headache. He knew that the teacher wouldn't let him go. Today was probably going to be an endless interrogation. But he didn't expect that when he arrived at the teacher's office, he would find two people in police uniforms. The two police officers turned around. One of them was actually someone they knew. "Officer Zhang, is that you? What are you doing here?" Xiao Xiao greeted him with a hint of surprise. Officer Zhang's expression was serious. "We're here for your case. We're really faded. Last time, your case in Xining wasn't solved. I didn't expect to take over your new case as soon as I was transferred to Nanchuan." Xiao Xiao was a bit confused. "What case?" Officer Zhang looked at him for a few seconds. Seeing that he didn't seem to be lying, he said directly, "Someone reported you for rape. We're here to investigate. Come back to the police station with us first." Xiao Xiao was stunned. He didn't expect this matter to be escalated to the police. The police didn't give him a chance to explain, and took him away. And some meddlesome student took a video of Xiao Xiao being taken to the police car, and posted it on the school's Tieba. "Jiu Qiu, is this earth-shattering melon real? Camel rides a horse." Xiao Xiao was really taken away by the police. Listening to the wind is rain, unbelievable. So Xiao Xiao is really this kind of person. Skinnier than a pig. Who is this girl? Is she from our school? The Tieba was filled with exclamations. Yanren also saw the video of Xiao Xiao being taken away. After Xiao Xiao explained to her yesterday, she knew that Xiao Xiao was being framed. Xiao Xiao was kind by nature. As long as his demonic energy didn't act up, he wouldn't do such a thing. But Yinran's heart was still stifled. She was upset because Xiao Xiao was very gentle with that girl. And Xiao Xiao saw a large part of the girl's skin exposed. She was jealous. She knew that Xiao Xiao was a guy who flirted everywhere. Although he didn't know it himself, he didn't know how charming he was. Not many girls could resist his lethality. Wasn't she the one who fell for it? Yinran knew that the key to this matter was to find the people who were present at the time. One was Huang Bo, and the other was the girl. Yinran also ran to find Huang Bo as soon as she arrived at school. But when she heard that he was hospitalized, she turned around and went to the teacher to get Huang Bo's phone and home address. Then, she went straight to the hospital. After a busy day, it was already late at night. In the police station, Xiao Xiao didn't hide anything and told the whole story. Officer Zhang was still very curious. "You really didn't notice that someone was taking a video at the time?" "No, I was busy beating people up and saving people. Why would I care if someone was taking a video?" "We will investigate what you said. But because this matter was reported directly to the bureau, you can't go back now." Officer Zhang's tone softened a little. After all, Xiao Xiao said it clearly and didn't seem to be making it up. "Okay. I hope I can go back as soon as possible. Officer Zhang, I'll leave this matter to you. However, Xiao Xiao, you still have a lot of enemies. If what you said is true, then you were framed. But if what you said is false, we won't let you go. The most important thing now is to find the victim." Yin Ran had been busy the whole day because of this matter. She had already found the girl's home. Under her threats and promises, Huang Bo suffered a second blow. He was directly in the hospital and couldn't get out of bed for 10 days to half a month. Huang Bo admitted that he did it, but he didn't know who took the video. And he admitted that after being beaten up by Xiao Xiao, he didn't dare to do it again. Yinran had already gotten Huang Bo's video, but the most powerful evidence now was still the girl. Yinran moved faster than the police. Chapter 70. Knock, knock, knock. A girl opened the door. She was quiet and gentle, just like the girl in the video. "Are you Yuchen?" It was Yinran's voice. "I'm Yuchen. May I know who you are?" "I'm Xiao Zhao's classmate. I have something to talk to you about." The cold and firm voice sounded. Yuchen suddenly panicked. She wanted to close the door, but Yinran was very strong. She used her hand to hold the door open and forced it open. Yuchen had no choice. "Then let's talk outside. Wait for me." Yinran looked at the weak girl. She lowered her head and avoided her eyes. She didn't dare to look at her at all. The two walked to a small square in the neighborhood and found a stone bench to sit down. Yinran went straight to the point. "Do you know about the video?" "I don't know about the video." This girl immediately denied it. "What do you want to deny? Did Xiao Xiao save you that day?" Yinran pressed. "Xiao Xiao saved me that day. I'm very grateful to him." The girl lowered her head and clenched her fists tightly. She was shrinking into a shrimp. But the video has nothing to do with me. I don't know where the video came from. Now, can you stand up and help Xiao Xiao clear his name? Yuchen shrank back and lowered her head without saying anything. She muttered, I don't dare. I don't dare to stand up. Looking at Yuchen's timid appearance, Yanran felt a fire burning in her throat, causing her words to be filled with the smell of gunpowder. Do you only care about yourself? Do you know how much damage you've caused to Xiao Xiao? Yuchen's heart trembled. From the first time she saw Yanran, she was afraid of this aggressive girl from the bottom of her heart. Say something. Yanran pushed her away. She really wanted to slap this sawtooth gourd in the face. But she still didn't get any response. Yuchen just lowered her head and kept shaking it. How can you be so selfish? Yanran was furious. She raised her right hand and was about to slap the girl. The wind caused by this made the girl jump in fright. She stood up abruptly and jumped to the side. Don't hit me. I'm a victim too. Perhaps Yuchen felt that she had been pushed too hard, so she started to cry. Don't push me. Really, don't push me. I'm already miserable enough. If I say it, my whole life will be ruined, Yanran said to her word by word. Are you afraid of ruining your own life? Aren't you afraid of ruining the life of your savior? He's a boy. He'll be fine after a while. The police wouldn't really arrest him either. The things that he didn't do would eventually die down. He's a boy, so there won't be any consequences. Speaking up to this point, Yuchen suddenly became somewhat hysterical. As for me, I deserve to be bullied. I deserve to be bullied. And I still have to make the matter of being bullied public. How do you want me to live in the future? After saying that, Yuchen suddenly broke down and wailed loudly. She cried, and like last time, she knelt in front of Yanran. Please let me live. I'm really tired of living. Yanran's heart was blocked like a huge stone. She finally understood Xiao Xiao's dilemma. This girl was simply selfish to the extreme. The only sympathy she had for the girl disappeared at this moment. Yanran said, I hope you think about it carefully. Your cowardice will only bring more and more harm. Only by fighting hard can you protect yourself and the people around you. Don't hurt others because of your selfishness. I'll give you 3 days. I hope you can come out and clarify quickly. If you refuse to admit it, I'll make it public. Hearing this, the girl suddenly showed a desperate look. She screamed, If you force me, I'll die directly. If you don't let me live, no one can live. Yanran found that this girl was simply a muddle-headed fool. She was extremely selfish and crazy. Yanran didn't say anything. Instead, she used her eyes to cut the girl's heart. In the end, Yanran didn't say anything and went home directly. On the way, she kept calling Xiao Xiao, but no one answered. She called Uncle Wu and found that Xiao Xiao didn't come home at all. She went to the tieba, but there was no news. Only then did she know that he hadn't come out of the police station. The next morning, Xiao Xiao still didn't come back. Yanran asked for leave and went straight to the police station. She saw that Xiao Xiao was a little haggard. There were many wrinkles on his clothes, and his eyelids were drooping. The corners of his eyes were not hooked as usual when he was in a good mood. It seemed that he didn't have a good rest at all. Xiao Xiao was very happy to see Yanran come to see him. He joked with her as if nothing had happened, but Yanran's expression was serious. Okay, don't pull a long face. It's not a big deal. I didn't do it. I'll be back in 2 days. Officer Zhang said that he needs to investigate. You see, it's good. I won't be looked down on at school. Besides, I can't find that girl at all. It's better to leave it to the police. Yanran listened to Xiao Zhao's relaxed words. She didn't know why, but she felt a little sad. I went to find that girl yesterday. You're so good, Yanran. How did you find her? I found her through Huang Bo. Huang Bo was beaten up by me again. He can't get out of bed for half a month. This kind of scum should be beaten until he doubts his life, so that he won't dare to do bad things in the future. Xiao Xiao smiled proudly. Looking at Xiao Zhao's relaxed appearance, it was still the same sunny smile as before. Yanran's heart ached. She also felt that it was unfair for Xiao Xiao. The shadow in her heart had already disappeared. Since she saw that girl, she knew that Xiao Xiao was completely fine. The most important thing now is that girl. She refused to come out and testify for you. I have already obtained Huang Bo's oral evidence. It's just that when the police are handling the case, I can't remove the damage to your reputation. Yinran said helplessly. Xiao Xiao heard Yinran's words. His smile shrank slightly, but then it bloomed into a bigger smile. As long as you believe me, it's fine even if the entire human race misunderstands me. Xiao Xiao's words suddenly hit Yinran's heart. It flowed through her blood and into her heart. At this moment, her heart started to beat rapidly. Yinran pressed her hand against her chest. If she didn't press down, her heart would beat out of her control. I'll think of another way. You stay here at ease. You should be out soon. Yinran quickly finished this sentence and ran out of the door. The moment she stepped out of the door, she heard a low voice behind her. Thank you. After Yinran left, Xiao Zhao's state of mind settled down. He no longer smiled happily. Instead, he felt bitter. He felt that his spiritual power was constantly decreasing. It should be because his circle of friends was dropping rapidly. The popularity that he had worked so hard to accumulate was decreasing just like that. It really made him feel aggrieved. In the 2 days that Xiao Xiao was at the police station, he had been waiting for the latest developments on the Tieba. But the police didn't say anything. The school didn't say anything. Xiao Xiao, the person involved, seemed to have disappeared from the Tieba. There was nothing. Zhang Deong and the others didn't believe it. They knew that although Xiao Xiao looked like a playboy, he was kind and righteous. Usually, his words were a bit frivolous, but he always kept a distance from other girls. For the past few days, they were like a protective little beast. As long as someone talked bad about Xiao Xiao behind her back, they would rush up and raise their fists, wanting to scare them off. Brother Qiao, why haven't you come back yet? The police still haven't found anything after investigating for so long? There are a lot of people around talking bad about Brother Qiao. Ma Xiaoshuan's face was bitter. These 2 days, he was so worried that his hair almost turned white. I also heard them talking. The most hateful thing is, why didn't the girl come out and clarify? Zhang Deong punched the table. Xiao Xiao was wronged. You don't have to worry. He will definitely come out in 2 days. Yinran walked past them and directly said this. Their eyes immediately lit up. Sister Yinran, are you telling the truth? Can you tell us the specific situation? You just have to believe it. Don't worry about the rest for now. Jiechi suddenly raised her head from her phone and stuttered to everyone. There's a new video, take a look. Another video was posted on the Tieba. This time, there were 2 girls, but these 2 girls were obviously not the girls who were raped last time. Their faces were also edited, but the words they said were very unfavorable to Xiao Xiao. Xiao Xiao is a person who flirts everywhere. He always uses words to tease me. He also often sends WeChat messages to ask me out for dinner. I refused several times, but he still didn't give up. The words he sent on WeChat are very excessive. Then, 2 screenshots of WeChat were directly posted in the video. The 2 words Xiao Xiao were on them, and the words in them were unbearable to look at. The other girl also said the same thing. It turned out that Xiao Xiao was actually such a person. No, this is not Brother Qiao's WeChat at all. His WeChat is a cartoon self-portrait. This is obviously a false accusation. Zhang Deong was the first to jump out. So, these people immediately refuted on the Tieba, and also took screenshots of Xiao Zhao's WeChat. But these people's voices were too soft, and were immediately drowned by the army of saliva. Now I finally know that someone is really framing him. It seems that the previous video also directly framed Brother Qiao. This person is really too hateful. Does the police not care? He just casually slandered people on the internet. It's really too hateful. Let me catch him and torture him to death. I think that as long as it's not true, the truth will come out one day, Jiechi said in a soft but firm voice. Zhang Deong and the others were filled with righteous indignation in the classroom. But the internet was like this. The slander and disaster caused by the slandering of the grass was unimaginable. Yinran stared at the video on her phone. Her eyes were like monstrous waves that wanted to destroy the whole world. The matter had been investigated clearly, but Yinran did not have any clues about the previous video. She was worried that there was no way to do it. was now a pillow sent to her when she was sleepy? Yinran's mouth curved into a cold smile. Chapter 71. Xiao Zhao's incident blew up online, and the entire school's public opinion could no longer be suppressed. Countless students left comments on the forum, asking for the truth to be found, and an explanation for the victim. Some girls even began to worry about their safety on campus. Soon, reporters also flocked to the forum to discuss the safety of students on campus. There was even a talk show on TV that day about how to ensure the safety of girls on campus. The focus of the news was that the girl who was sexually harassed was relatively young. In the past, it was more normal for such incidents to happen in university or the workplace. They didn't expect such a case to happen in high school. However, the news was only stating the facts and didn't release the student's name. However, some people could already connect the dots to the case at Nanchuan High School. Students jointly signed on the forum to ask the school to give the victim an explanation. However, the police didn't give a conclusion for a long time. It was already the second day, and it had been 24 hours since Xiao Xiao was taken away. Due to the pressure of public opinion, the school had no choice but to give a public reply. If Xiao Xiao's incident is found to be true, the school will not tolerate it. According to the rules, he will be expelled and handed over to the judicial authorities. Not only was the school's announcement posted on the school's website, but it was also reposted online. Originally, this type of news was widely followed, whether in the entertainment industry or society. There was also Xiao Xiao. Because he participated in the Information Science Olympiad, he was once a hot topic on Weibo. So this time, it caused quite a stir in the information industry. With this kind of character, so what if he won the championship? We can't let a scumbag like this ruin the information industry. However, there were still many people online who felt that it was a pity. After all, Xiao Xiao left a very positive impression on most people. However, there were still some diehard fans of Xiao Xiao, especially after Zhang Deong and the others kept explaining online. Many people still believed in Xiao Xiao. However, even more people were still observing and waiting to see how efficient the police were. How could the commotion caused by the information industry escape the ears of Professor Wang and Professor He? They were extremely shocked when they heard the news for the first time. However, they weren't as impulsive as the people online. After listening to the news, they still believed in Xiao Zhao's character and immediately called to find out what happened. However, they couldn't get through to him at all. Later, they found out from Uncle Wu that Xiao Xiao had already been taken to the police station for 2 days. Before the truth was revealed, they couldn't comment online and could only wait for the police's announcement. That night, an uninvited guest came to Professor Wang's house. Professor Wang, I am Xiao Zhao's classmate Yinran. This was the first time Yinran had covered herself completely. She only took off her hood when she entered Professor Wang's house. The first time Professor Wang saw Yinran, he admired her calm temperament. After that, Yinran's attitude changed quickly. Her calmness and magnanimity made Professor Wang feel that the younger generation would surpass him in time. The two of them spoke privately for almost 3 hours. When Yinran finally left, it was almost late at night. Looking at the mottled shadows of the trees on the side of the road extending their claws like ghosts, Yinran waved her hand, and a purple light dissipated the ghosts. Time ticked by, and every second of waiting was a kind of torment. The feeling of waiting for the truth became more and more urgent as time passed. Xiao Xiao could have left a long time ago, but Officer Zhang kept him here. He still needed Xiao Xiao's help with cases related to him. The video from the school library had already been found, but for some reason, it seemed to have been destroyed. It took Xiao Xiao a long time to recover the video. In order to recover the truth, the video in the library corridor was crucial. Huang Bo had already been questioned and was being watched by 2 police officers at the hospital. Once the police made their announcement, Huang Bo would be arrested and sent to the detention center. It was too late for regrets. It was all because of his young age, the fact that the girl was weak and easily bullied, and Huang Bo's ignorance of the law. In the afternoon, the police announcement finally came. Hashtag Nanchuan Public Security Bureau's announcement on the police situation at Nanchuan High School. Hashtag recently, the Nanchuan High School boy Qiao Zhao's rape video was circulating on the internet. It caused a bad impact on the school. After investigation, it was found that on a certain day, a certain time, a certain boy did try to rape another girl. The boy in the video, Qiao Zhao, acted bravely for a just cause. When he passed by the scene, he stopped the bad guy and saved the victim. The perpetrator has been arrested and brought to justice. Police reminder: the internet is not a place outside the law. Creating and spreading false information will also be punished according to the law. The entire internet was in an uproar. The plot had a big twist. It turned out that the culprit who was condemned online was acting bravely for a just cause. Soon, the school also issued an announcement. Huang Bo from grade 1 class 6 is suspected of rape and has been arrested by the police. According to the school's regulations, he will be expelled. Qiao Zhao was awarded a Good Samaritan Award for his meritorious service in saving the girl. At the same time, the police directly released 2 videos on the internet. One was the full version of the video. The beginning of the video showed Qiao Zhao in the corridor of the library when he heard something strange in the storeroom. After that, he obviously heard something and kicked open the door. There was no video in the storeroom, but from the sounds recorded in the corridor, it could be determined that there was a fierce fight inside. In the end, Huang Bo's pleas for mercy were very clearly recorded. The other video was originally posted on the internet. This was the video that was posted on the internet this time. Not only did it have images, but it also had audio. It clearly recorded the conversation between Qiao Zhao and the girl. The truth was revealed. Professor Wang also posted a Weibo post praising Qiao Zhao's bravery for a just cause. At the same time, he condemned the spread of false information on the internet. He also directly pointed out that the screenshots of the girl's conversation that were posted later were specially processed through technical means. Zhang Deong and the others were elated on the internet, and Yanran wrote a long article. The words were fierce, and the article criticized the people who spread false information on the internet. At the same time, it greatly condemned the scumbag Huang Bo and exaggerated the grievances that Qiao Zhao had suffered during this period of time. It also criticized some of the students on the internet for not understanding right from wrong. Before the situation was clear, they attacked and abused Qiao Zhao on the internet. After the article was published, the students who had previously questioned and abused the internet, as well as some people in the social circle, felt very ashamed and apologized on the internet. Naming is difficult. I apologize for believing in the rumors and not standing firm on my position. Little sweetie, I apologize for doubting Qiao Zhao's character. Hate the dark curtain. I apologize for not being able to distinguish right from wrong. Compass to the north. I apologize for adding insult to injury. Sugar for life. I apologize for causing harm to Qiao Zhao. Immortal lives in my house. Qiao Zhao is a god in my heart. I will never believe any slanderous rumors about him. Mu Xianfeng. I apologize for closing his WeChat moments. Stay up until morning. I apologize for not being his fan anymore. Plaid shirt. It hurts to think that such an outstanding person like him suffered such injustice. Brick moving cola. Did the police miss the most important video? Who is the person who posted it? Laughing my teeth fall off. Why didn't they announce the person who posted the video? Fat flour. We strongly request that the culprit be severely punished. The person who posted the rumors on the internet is also the culprit. Drifting ocean. The person who posted the false rumors on the internet caused serious damage to Qiao Zhao's reputation. We request that the culprit be severely punished. The netizens lined up neatly to apologize and demanded that the culprit be severely punished. Qiao Zhao's WeChat moments immediately returned to their original state and even became more prosperous. At this time, Qiao Zhao, who was lying on the bed sleeping, clearly felt that he was full of spiritual power, and his whole body was full of spiritual power fluctuations. When he woke up, he was refreshed and full of energy. Qiao Zhao was not surprised that the matter was resolved satisfactorily. He believed that the truth would come out one day, but he did not expect it to be so soon. According to the original police procedure, they needed to investigate and interrogate before reporting to the higher-ups. The process would take at least half a month, and the results would not be out. However, Officer Zhang told him that his classmate Yin Ran had already sorted out all the clues and sent them a package. That was why the efficiency was so high this time. For a person's reputation, the shorter the time to solve the case, the less damage it would cause. Xiao Zhao's heart was sweet. Yin Ran cared so much about him and helped him. Did it mean that she was special to him? Xiao Zhao really wanted to see her now. No matter what, just seeing her was good. Yin Ran was at home at the moment, catching up on sleep. She had been busy for a few days and did not sleep at night. She was like an indefatigable top, spinning nonstop. After Xiao Zhao's matter came out, she was a little panicked at first. However, when she found the second and third videos, she knew that the other party had exposed themselves. Following the vine to the melon, it was indeed easier to find the source of the last two videos. Yin Ran rushed to the two girls' house that night and told them that they were committing a crime. However, the two girls did not know anything about it. They thought that it was really Xiao Xiao. Although they were kept in the dark, they provided important clues. Then, Yin Ran went to Professor Wang's house and asked her to help with the analysis of the videos in the library, the videos on the internet, and the two girls' WeChat. Professor Wang said that the person who posted the videos should be a very skilled person. Every time the IP address was released, it was untraceable. However, Professor Wang was, after all, a leading figure in the industry. She had a lot of means and methods. She followed the Vine Papaya and found the two marketing accounts. However, the two marketing accounts did not know who contacted them at all. They only knew that they were paid to do things. Yin Ran reported the two marketing accounts in a fit of anger. The police directly blocked the two marketing accounts. However, the clues were cut off. At this moment, Hua Gang, who was browsing the internet, saw the huge reversal. He was so angry that he smashed the mouse. Chapter 72. Jealousy eroded Hua Gang's brain like crazy weeds. He failed again. Could it be that he couldn't win against Xiao Xiao with his IQ? He took a closer look at the long article on the internet. It was published in the name of Zhang Dayang. But with Zhang Dayang's brain as a sports student, how could he write such a moving essay? There must be someone behind it. Hua Gang subconsciously thought of Yin Ran. It must be her. Looking at the praise for Xiao Xiao in the article, it basically summed up all his advantages. It could be said that the author had done his best to create a persona for him. And it was quite successful. Hua Gang's heart seemed to have been hollowed out. The love that was originally filled to the brim was replaced by betrayal. Could the friendship from childhood not be compared to this year of getting along? Hua Gang recalled training when they were young. Although Yin Ran was always a little stronger than him, he never envied her. However, he had never been jealous. Instead, he had always worshipped him since he was young. He felt that a goddess should be like this, and only such a goddess could stand side by side with him. He had long regarded Yin Ran as his partner to spend the rest of his life with, but Yin Ran had always been indifferent and distant to him. He thought that Yin Ran's nature was the same to everyone, but he didn't expect that after this incident, he would know that Yin Ran could also have a fiery temper and be so hardworking. A strong sense of frustration hit Hua Gang's heart. How could he attract Yin Ran to him? He admitted that Xiao Xiao was more handsome than him, and in some aspects he was better than him. But this was also his shortcoming. A person with such looks would definitely attract bees and butterflies in the future. How could he be as sincere as he was to Yin Ran? This person was definitely not a good match. The key was that this person was born with a devil's aura. There would be a day when he would become a devil. Hua Gang believed that as time passed, Xiao Zhao's nature would slowly reveal itself. As long as he continued to add fuel to the fire, Yin Ran would eventually fall into his arms. If you don't succeed this time, there will be a next time. Xiao Xiao, I won't let you off so easily. Hua Gang's fingernails dug into his palms, causing them to bleed, but he didn't feel anything. Xiao Xiao, if you have time today, please come to the police station again. Officer Zhang had called Xiao Xiao early in the morning. Okay. Xiao Xiao was in a good mood today. After a good rest, the spiritual energy in his circle of friends was abundant again. He was thinking about how to make up for his loss 2 days ago. He rolled his eyes and called Yanran. Yanran, Officer Zhang asked us to go to the police station together. I'll pick you up later. After getting Yanran's approval, Xiao Xiao began to get busy. That night at the police station, his sloppy appearance was seen by Yanran. Today, he had to wear a new look to erase the image in her mind. He found that when he was full of spiritual energy, his whole body was full of strength, and his skin even became better. In the mirror, he was like a perfect work of art. He couldn't see a single pore. He put on a little lip gloss, making his originally seductive thin lips like a fresh peach, moist and sweet. He grabbed his short hair with gel and fixed it into a handsome style. His forehead was exposed, and a few strands of hair fell in front of his forehead. Then he chose a sky blue long-sleeved shirt with hidden flowers, and a checkered vest with a heart-shaped collar. The material was high-end, full of youthfulness, and was simply overflowing with romance from the cuffs and collar. Next, he chose a pair of light-colored casual pants, and a pair of checkered sneakers, revealing his sexy ankles, making his legs look straight and long. His perky buttocks were full and tight, and his whole person was full of aristocratic asceticism. Xiao Xiao was very satisfied with his appearance. He blew a kiss to himself in the mirror, and called the driver to drive to Yanran's house. Yanran didn't agree to let him come directly to her house to pick her up, and let him stop next to the coffee shop where they met before. Xiao Xiao stopped the car, and first went to the coffee shop next to the coffee shop to buy 2 cups of coffee, and then leaned against the car to wait for Yanran's arrival. After a while, Yanran walked over from a distance. Xiao Xiao looked at the purple bun on top of her head. She looked listless, as if she didn't have much energy. It seemed that these 2 days had been hard on her. Xiao Xiao quickly handed her a cup of coffee, and then gave her a sweet smile. He sincerely said, "These 2 days have been hard on you, Yanran." "Thank you." Yanran looked at Xiao Xiao's appearance today, and her eyes lit up. She cursed in her heart. This person is becoming more and more evil. The little purple bun on top of her head also showed a look of admiration at this time. Although Xiao Xiao looked at Yanran expressionlessly, the little purple bun's expression clearly pleased him, and he knew that he didn't work for nothing. He showed an even bigger smile, and he used a bit of his devil energy to make his face even more charming. He said to Yanran, "Is the coffee good?" Yanran looked at his smile, and it was as if there was some kind of magic that sucked her in. She didn't hear what Xiao Xiao said, and only saw his seductive thin lips open and close, as if inviting her to come closer and taste its sweetness. She couldn't help but lick her lips, and uncontrollably moved forward a bit. Xiao Xiao was stunned by Yanran's action, and also took a step forward, reaching out a finger to touch her lips. Only when the touch of her finger became clear did Yanran come back to her senses. This Xiao Xiao's appearance was truly too attractive. She moved her head away from his finger, and took a sip of the coffee. She didn't look at him anymore and said, "Let's go." Xiao Xiao looked at the little purple bun on top of Yanran's head, and for some reason, his face turned red. Because the driver was there, the two didn't say much, and directly went to the police station. Officer Zhang saw the two of them come together, and directly brought them to the examination room. After our analysis, we found that the video of Xiao Xiao and Xining was sent out by those 2 marketing accounts. You already know this. And today, after many times of tracking, and even with the help of colleagues across the province, we found that the IP address of those 2 marketing accounts has been changed around 40 to 50 times. And now, we've logged onto an ID called Xiaochang, which was logged in at an internet cafe in Xining. And the source of these videos was indeed logged in at an internet cafe in Nanchuan, and the account is still Xiaochang's ID. We also investigated the internet cafe's registration records, and the ID shown was of a person called Lu Chang. However, we also found this person, and he didn't know anything. Someone should have stolen his ID information. Xiao Xiao and Yanran looked at the constantly scrolling accounts on the computer, and in the end, All the lines pointed to Xiao Chang's ID. It seems like this person's anti-reconnaissance ability is very strong. Before he went online, he should have already been an expert hacker. But in Xiao Zhao's surroundings, only the group of people who participated in the competition in Xining fit this description. Do you guys think we should investigate them one by one? This will have a bigger impact. Xiao Xiao and Yinran were silent. Of course, they wanted to find the real culprit. However, Xiao Xiao faintly had a candidate in mind. He looked at Yinran, and then said to Officer Zhang. Officer Zhang, about my assault last time, how about we stop investigating it? Officer Zhang was very surprised. Why? You're not going to investigate it? I'm guessing that it might be someone who competed with me. At that time, it didn't cause any harm, so I think we should just let it go. Officer Zhang at this time tried to persuade him. Xiao Xiao, the atmosphere of a bad person can't be encouraged. You let him live. But what if he doesn't let you live in the future? To be able to make the video last time, he must be very skilled. This time, it's probably also done by him. Xiao Xiao was silent. Instead, he looked at Yinran. Yinran was actually very unwilling to accept this fact. Yinran knew that Xiao Xiao suspected Huagang, but she still didn't dare to believe it. Even if the person who attacked last time was Huagang, was he also the one who made the video? She grew up with Huagang, and Yinran understood his character. He shouldn't be that kind of person. Yinran didn't say anything, but Officer Zhang said sternly, if there's evidence to prove that he committed a crime, even if he's your best friend, you can't cover it up. If your cover-up will cause him to do anything, then the people who will be hurt won't be Xiao Xiao alone. And you definitely don't want Xiao Xiao to be whipped by public opinion again. Xiao Xiao looked at Yinran, who still lowered her head and didn't say anything. He sighed in his heart. Officer Zhang, how about this? Let's go back and observe. This matter will end here. You don't have to investigate this case anymore, and I won't pursue it. But you're helping the tyrant. As a police officer, I don't want to see criminals do evil again and again. Officer Zhang, after all, there's no evidence now. It's just a guess. Just pretend that you don't know anything. Officer Zhang saw that the victim's family was so insistent. In fact, there was no more evidence, but he still felt very regretful. He was a righteous police officer. The last thing he wanted was to see criminals go unpunished. How about this? I'll temporarily close this case. If there's new evidence in the future, we can still start it again. Okay, thank you, Officer Zhang. Yinran sincerely thanked the police officer for his consideration. Xiao Xiao and Yinran walked out of the police station. Xiao Xiao put his hands in his trouser pockets and walked forward with his long legs alternately. He deliberated his tone. Do you think it could be Huagang? He was muddle-headed last time. I've already taught him a lesson. I also asked him. He said that he didn't do the video. Xiao Xiao was suddenly a little angry. You trust him so much? Yinran lowered her head and didn't say anything. Xiao Xiao looked at the dazzling sunlight and blocked it with his hand. He knew that Huagang was a special existence in Yinran's heart. He didn't think about it anymore. Even if Huagang wanted to harm him, he just had to be careful in the future. If it wasn't, then it would be best. As long as he was upright, he wasn't afraid of being slanted. Yinran, let's go. It's almost noon. Let's go eat together. Putting aside his worries, Xiao Xiao walked and jumped, returning to his previous happy and cheerful personality. Let's go. I know a place that's especially delicious. The environment is also very good. I'll take you to try it. Xiao Xiao naturally took Yinran's hand and walked toward the parking lot. Yinran looked at Xiao Xiao's actions and wanted to withdraw her hand. However, Xiao Xiao was very firm. His hand was tightly held, as if to declare his sovereignty. He didn't look back. He just took her hand and walked forward. Chapter 73. Yinran, have you been busy recently? I want to invite you out for a gathering. Huagang sent a WeChat message to Yinran's phone. Sorry, I've been busy recently. Huagang hadn't seen Yinran alone for a long time since the two of them had a falling out. He had deliberately waited for her a few times in school, but Yinran had rejected him. Huagang knew that Yinran was avoiding him, but the more she did so, the more competitive he became. He had seen Xiao Xiao and Yanran walking together several times. Xiao Xiao was always talking nonstop, while Yanran listened indifferently. Sometimes there would be several other students around, but he always felt like an outsider, unable to integrate into the group. Now he hoped that they could go on missions together. When they went on missions together, no matter what, he could stay with Yanran openly. If he wanted to fight for his interests, he couldn't just sit and wait. His main target was still Xiao Xiao. His conflict with Yanran was mainly focused on Xiao Xiao. He believed that Yanran would return to his arms once he got rid of him. He took a selfie of his injury. He used a knife to cut a long wound on his arm, and blood dripped down the wound drop by drop. It looked very horrifying. Then he sent it to the 2 cultivators in the East District he knew. The 2 cultivators were surprised when they saw it. "What's going on?" Hua Gang pretended to be pitiful. "It's that Xiao Xiao I told you about last time. How did this happen? I couldn't stand the demonic aura above his head, so I fought with him. In the end, I didn't expect him to be so powerful, and I was injured by him," Hua Gang said as if he had been wronged. This was also true. He and Xiao Xiao had fought each other, and the entire school knew about it. Only in the midst of truth and falsehood could a lie be more real. When the 2 cultivators saw this, they were filled with righteousness. "How can such evil people act so tyrannically over us cultivators? Are you not going to report this to the higher-ups?" "I've already reported it, but there's a big shot here who's been protecting him, saying that it's not devil chi." Hua Gang didn't even need to pretend to be aggrieved at this moment. He was really angry in his heart. How despicable. As cultivators who protect humanity, how can we be bullied like this? Just you wait, we will definitely seek justice for our cultivators. The structure of the Eastern District was different from that of the Southern District. Under the management of Elder Yan, the cultivators in the Southern District had a clear hierarchy. This was where Hua Gang was troubled, because his direct superior was Yanran. If he went over Yanran, it would be a mistake. The Southern District was like a well-disciplined army, with a strict hierarchy. However, the Eastern District was different. The Eastern District had an independent channel that went up. This was also a channel that the boss of the Eastern District had specially set up to know the situation of the cultivators at the bottom level. Therefore, the 2 cultivators directly wrote a letter to the reporting channel. During the basketball match, they met a person who was obviously faster and more skillful than a human. Normally, there was no abnormality, but when he was fighting, a very thick black chi would come out of his head. "We suspect that this person is possessed by devil chi." When the boss of the Eastern District saw this letter, he took it very seriously. This kind of person was extremely dangerous. Because they were usually very hidden, cultivators couldn't detect them at all. When they really started to use devil chi to harm people, they were already very strong. Normal cultivators couldn't deal with them. There had been similar cases before. This kind of person was a bit like schizophrenia. They had dual personalities, and when they were good people, there were no signs of evil. When the bad person took over the body, the most evil side of the world would erupt. The boss of the Eastern District suspected that this person was like this. He immediately sent this message to Yanran's grandfather, who was the manager of the Southern District. They all had special channels of communication. This letter was placed on Elder Yan's desk as the most confidential and serious red letter. "Yanran, your grandfather wants to talk to you. He wants you to go back quickly. It seems to be quite urgent." Yanran's mother received the call from her grandfather and immediately told Yanran. When Yanran heard this, she knew that something big must have happened. Without thinking about anything else, she put on a coat and hurried to her grandfather's house. Yan led her directly into the study. He didn't even take a sip of water before he got straight to the point. "Yanran, now that you've become a relatively important figure in our system, there are some important special matters that I'd like to let you experience." "Thank you, Grandpa. I will do my best to make her good." "Ha ha ha, don't be so nervous. You have to complete the previous task very well. I believe it will be the same this time." After that, Elder Yan pushed a secret letter to Yanran. Yanran took it and found that it was a red top secret letter. She couldn't help but be cautious. She tore open the letter and carefully read it from beginning to end 3 times. The waves in her heart could be said to be like monstrous waves surging to the sky. She couldn't hide the things she wanted to hide anymore. The person in the letter was Xiao Xiao. Her name and surname were written clearly. Her school and class were also written clearly. This person is your classmate, right? Do you know him? Grandpa's words woke her up like a warning bell. Yes, Grandpa. Yinran answered with difficulty. She hadn't figured out how to explain and report to her grandfather about Xiao Xiao. She was directly told by someone else. Usually, when she reported her work, she was neat and organized. But at this time, it seemed to have become an extravagant hope. She didn't know where to start, nor how to persuade her grandfather. Then tell me, what's the situation with this boy? Elder Yin had already noticed Yinran's strange behavior. He couldn't help but be serious and cautious. Yinran's thoughts turned quickly. How on earth should she tell her grandfather? What's wrong? Is there anything Yinran and Grandpa hiding? Just tell the truth. Yinran's hesitation couldn't escape her grandfather's eyes. Yinran had no choice but to tell her grandfather about Xiao Xiao bit by bit. He is my classmate. At first, I thought he was a bad guy, but according to my observation, he is kind and kind. He is a kind-hearted person who loves to help others, and is excellent in all aspects. He is really a perfect person, so I haven't reported it to you. You are so stupid. The more Elder Yin listened, the angrier he became. You found out a long time ago. He was right beside you, but you still let him live for so long. Aren't you afraid that one day his magic will explode, and the people around him will suffer? Where is your mission? Do you still remember your responsibility? It was the first time that Grandpa had been so angry. He yelled at Yinran, as if the roof of the study was going to be overturned by him. Grandpa was in such a hurry that he accidentally choked on his food, because he spoke too quickly. He coughed a few times in pain. Yinran was startled. She quickly helped Grandpa sit down, and poured him a glass of water. Grandpa panted a few times and finally calmed down the itch in his throat. Then he said, Yinran, you let me down. I have said that you are kind, but in the face of right and wrong, you must stick to your principles. If it weren't for the secret letter from the Eastern District, I wouldn't have known that there was such a time bomb in our jurisdiction. But Grandpa, why do people in the Eastern District know about Xiao Xiao? Yinran asked carefully. Why? Why do you still care? This is our negligence. Their cultivators discovered some clues and came to inform us. Instead of finding a way to deal with this person, you ask who reported it? Aren't you putting the cart before the horse? Grandpa's words were getting more and more impolite. It seemed that Yinran really pissed him off today. Sorry, Grandpa, I didn't have time to report to you. In fact, I have been paying attention to him. But because I have been paying attention to him, I found that this person is really a good person. He will never do harm to humans. He has saved many people's lives. Grandpa, shouldn't we use our own eyes to observe him and convict him based on his magic? Grandpa stared at Yinran and didn't say a word. Instead, he shook his head in disappointment. Fine, you won't admit it no matter what. This person is problematic. Let me give you an example. A long time ago there was a person. He was originally an ordinary person, and he was a good person who rarely appeared in 100 years. What he liked to do the most was charity. He made a lot of money, but he used it to save sick children. But later he was infected with magic. We cultivators also thought that he was a good person, so we didn't deal with him. In the end, he had a split personality. He had a list of every child he saved, and he killed all the children he saved. This is a bloody lesson, and also a humiliation that happened in our world of cultivation before. We are known as the protectors of the human world, but in the end, because of our eyes, so many children lost their lives. But Grandpa, I really don't think there is anything wrong with him. Yinran was still powerlessly resisting. We would rather kill 1,000 than let one go. We can't take such a risk. Yinran, if you can't do it, I will send someone else to do it. Only by completely eliminating the magic in his body can we eliminate this hidden danger. No, Grandpa. Yinran suddenly shouted. I can do it. I can do it. Give me another chance. I will definitely watch him, and find a chance to eliminate his magic. Looking at Yinran's appearance, Elder Yin felt very strange. This is not like you. You are usually very calm. Why are you suddenly so abnormal this time? What is your relationship with this person? He has nothing to do with me. He is just an ordinary classmate. Grandpa, don't worry. I will find a way to deal with this matter. Yinran did feel that she was too obvious in front of her grandpa. She pretended to be calm and returned to normal. Chapter 74. Yinran still hadn't reacted when she came out of her grandfather's house. What her grandfather told her was like a bolt from the blue, and Yinran was caught off guard. She had been avoiding thinking and facing this problem. She thought that it might be good for Xiao Xiao to continue like this. After so long, she didn't see any signs of him turning into a demon. She didn't expect that a secret letter would push Xiao Xiao to the forefront of the storm. Yinran walked out of the villa. She didn't pay attention and tripped over a stone. She almost fell. She held on to it with her hand to keep her balance. Just as she was holding on to the tree next to her, a barb on the branch accidentally cut her. But she didn't care at all. A small drop of blood had already broken out from the wound. She also remembered her dream. Now that she thought about it, that dream was so real. In the dream, Xiao Zhao's tendons were pulled out, and his marrow was cleansed. It was so painful that she couldn't imagine it happening in front of her. What would happen to Xiao Xiao? She walked for a long time in a daze. She even forgot that the driver was still waiting for her at her grandfather's house. She just walked along the road home, until a car caught up with her. The headlights kept shining until it stopped beside her. Miss Yinran, please get in the car. It turned out that the driver had caught up. Yinran got in the car, and looked at the dark sky outside the window. Dark clouds were hanging over the sky, and a storm was coming. The next morning, Yinran came to the classroom with dark circles under her eyes. Xiao Xiao looked like he had discovered a new world. He stared at Yinran's smoky makeup for a long time. Today's makeup seems to be special. It's especially dark. Did you miss me so much that you couldn't sleep? Xiao Zhao's mischievous look appeared again. Yinran looked at him with a complicated expression. After school in the afternoon, I'm going to your house. Ha! When did Yinran become so proactive? It was really out of Xiao Zhao's expectations. But he was still very happy. What do you want to eat tonight? I'll ask Uncle Wu to make it for you. Xiao Xiao revealed a big smile. I don't want to eat. I just have something to tell you. Yinran was like an emotionless talking machine. Xiao Xiao touched his nose. Could it be that he had done something that made Yinran dissatisfied? He recalled that he had been quite obedient recently. He looked at Yinran and lost interest in continuing the conversation. He had no choice but to attend class in peace. They stayed up until the afternoon, and the two of them went home in the car. After entering Xiao Zhao's room, Yinran directly locked the door. Xiao Xiao was stunned. Yinran, you look like a different person today. Sit down, I have something to tell you. Yinran's face was as cold as ice. What happened, Yinran? Xiao Xiao couldn't help but become serious. Today, you have to tell me exactly where your devil aura comes from. Yinran was completely serious. Why are you suddenly asking this question? Didn't I tell you that I was born with it? Xiao Xiao saw that it was the same old story, so he was no longer nervous. He relaxed his body and leaned back in the chair. His two legs knocked on the coffee table and slowly swayed. Don't be perfunctory. Tell me the truth. This is very important. Yinran's cold little face was already very serious. What's wrong? Yinran. Xiao Xiao simply pulled Yinran over and let her sit beside him. He patted her shoulder. Don't be so nervous. Smile. Yinran was pulled to sit down by him. She quickly moved to the side. I'm talking about something serious. Don't interrupt. Xiao Xiao said with a cheeky smile. I'm also talking about something serious. I told you that it's true. I was born with it. Then what about your parents? Why haven't you seen them? Yinran completely ignored Xiao Zhao's handsome face and kept asking. My parents are in another world. They sent me to the human world to gain experience. Xiao Xiao was still a little absent-minded. What do you mean in another world? Have they already passed away? No. They are 10,000 years old monsters. How could they pass away? Xiao Xiao curled his lips. What do you mean? Hurry up and tell me clearly. This is related to your own life and death. You humans are troublesome. Okay, I'll tell you. But you can't tell anyone. Xiao Xiao stretched out a finger and waved it left and right in front of Yanran. Okay, I won't tell anyone. After getting Yanran's approval, Xiao Xiao simply lay down on the chair and leaned on it. I'm from the Devil Realm, which is a parallel world to your human world. My parents said that I eat, drink, and play all day in the Devil Realm, so they sent me to the human world to gain experience. It's that simple. I'm from the Devil Realm. Of course I have devil chi in me, so I said that I was born with it. Isn't that normal? He still recited the answer directly. He was dumbfounded. Such an inconceivable thing actually happened right in front of his eyes. You're not lying to me? Of course I'm not lying to you. If you don't believe me, you can ask Uncle Wu to confirm it. He came with me. Then how do you get rid of your devil chi? Oh, beautiful lady, I was born with devil chi. If you get rid of my devil chi, then I'll. Xiao Xiao finished speaking and made a throat-slitting gesture. Although it was a little different from what Yanran had imagined, the results seemed to be the same. Xiao Xiao's devil chi couldn't be removed. If it was removed, it would definitely endanger his life. He was different from those evil people. If those people had their devil chi removed, they could only become a useless person and live like ordinary humans. However, some of their special abilities would not exist. Xiao Xiao, on the other hand, was different. He directly reported to the King of Hell. Then what will happen if you die in the human world? Yanran asked the question in her heart. I don't know. I haven't died before. I don't know if I'll enter the underworld. Won't you go back to the Devil Realm directly after you die? I don't think so. Every realm has a barrier. I can't go wherever I want. I say, did you come here today to interrogate me about this? Or did you deliberately find an excuse to see me? Xiao Xiao always looked like a ruffian. Yanran rolled her eyes and simply ignored his glib tongue. I can only tell you that you've been reported. Report? What about me? I didn't do anything bad. Xiao Xiao didn't care at all. I don't know who you offended. A secret letter was directly placed on my grandfather's table, Yanran said and lowered her head. Xiao Xiao also stopped joking. So serious? Your grandfather already knows about me? What did he say? Yanran looked at him and squeezed a few words from between her teeth. He asked me to remove your devil chi. What if I can't remove it? If I can't do it, he'll send someone to do it himself. Xiao Xiao was hit by this unexpected calamity from the heavens. He had also encountered many cultivators, except for Yanran. Everyone was hostile towards him. He knew that this organization was very powerful. If he was targeted by this organization, what good would come of it? Xiao Xiao couldn't help but fall into deep thought. Then what are you going to do now? Yanran answered with difficulty. This is the first problem I've encountered. I don't know what to do, so I came to discuss it with you. Xiao Xiao looked at Yanran's troubled expression and felt touched. Thank you, Yanran. I've troubled you. Xiao Xiao continued to think with his head lowered. Suddenly he looked up and smiled at Yanran. Yanran, this is the time to show that I'm a man. You can hand me over. Don't worry about me anymore. How can I do that? Yanran said anxiously. There are so many cultivators. You can't handle it. Yanran, we've been together for so long. I can't repay the kindness you've shown me. In the Devil Realm, we pay attention to the distinction between kindness and hatred. I'm not afraid of trouble. I'll deal with it when it comes. I don't want to implicate you. If you're punished because of me, then I'll be biting the hand that feeds me. So hand me over. Xiao Xiao sat to the side and held Yanran's hand in his. He stared affectionately into Yanran's eyes. Yanran, you've done enough for me. Let's stop here. I'm not your responsibility. Yanran suddenly felt that her eyes were a little moist. Her heart was flustered, and a sour feeling spread throughout her body, making her want to cry uncontrollably. She hadn't cried for a long time, except when she was young and immature. Since her mind became clear, her mind was firm. She had never wavered too much for other things. But now she had too many emotional reactions for Xiao Xiao. Now, she couldn't extricate herself. Her lips were trembling slightly. She suddenly turned her hand and held Xiao Xiao's hand. She said to him, "I'll think of a way." Xiao Xiao said bitterly, "Yanran, don't take everything on your shoulders. You're just a girl. There are some things that I should take responsibility for. I'll be distressed if you act like this." Yanran didn't speak, but tears fell from the corners of her eyes. Xiao Xiao wiped her tears with heartache. He pulled her into his arms and patted her back gently. "Okay, don't cry. Don't cry, Yanran." Yanran cried silently for a while. Then she straightened up from Xiao Xiao's shoulder. Xiao Xiao looked at her tear-stained face. "Don't cry. If you cry again, you'll become ugly. The gap between you and me will be even greater." Yanran chuckled and said, "You only know how to talk nonsense." The two people's hearts seemed to be pulled closer. Xiao Xiao held Yanran's hand and told her not to worry, and not to worry about this matter. Yanran knew that Xiao Xiao couldn't do anything. He was comforting her unnecessarily. He wanted to remove her from this matter. "If you cry again, the little purple gas bun on your head will faint." Xiao Xiao scared her. Yanran raised her head and wanted to say, "Your little black gas bun isn't much better." But when she raised her head, she didn't see anything. "Xiao Xiao, where's the demon energy on your head?" "I hid it. Can't you see my little black gas bun now? How did you do it?" There are many spells in the demon world. One of them is called Spirit Concealment Spell. I practiced this spell some time ago. It seems to be effective. Chapter 75. Then do you mean that if you successfully cultivate it, then others won't be able to see your devil chi? As if a trace of light had appeared in the dark sky, Yanran said excitedly, "I'm not too sure about this. Anyway, when I'm emotional it will still show. There are many such books in the demon realm, but the ones I brought are limited. If I can find some better books, it will definitely be of great help to my devil chi." Yanran suddenly had an idea. She remembered that her grandfather once told her that the hibiscus score was obtained from the demon realm. Doesn't that mean that if Xiao Xiao cultivates the hibiscus score, then won't his devil chi be invisible? Once this idea grew grass in her heart, Yanran couldn't wait to test it out. "Xiao Xiao, you continue to cultivate. If others can't see your devil chi, then can you tell others that you have removed the devil chi?" Yanran suddenly raised her head, her eyes shining with a dazzling light, and her voice trembled a little. "Yanran, you're so smart. This is a good method." Xiao Xiao tapped Yanran's little nose. "However, this matter is still very dangerous. You must find a way to protect yourself." Yanran couldn't wait to go home and study the hibiscus score. Since it was a strange book, then it must have its special points. After Yanran left, Xiao Xiao locked himself in the room full of treasures on the second floor. Although he said it calmly just now, it was just to not let Yanran have a greater psychological burden. But he himself knew that this matter was not a trivial matter. Uncle Wu said that if you don't want others to control you, you have to become stronger yourself. He had some success in his previous cultivation, and the spirit concealment technique still had some effect, but it was just to scare people. When he really encountered something, he still couldn't control it. He applied for leave from school and went straight to the back of the mountain for half a month. The back of the mountain was full of spiritual energy, so he should be able to achieve twice the result with half the effort. On the mountainside of the back mountain, under the layers of dense forest, under the lush shade of the trees, a handsome young man was sitting cross-legged on a rock. His two hands were placed on his knees, forming a seal of wisdom. His youthful face also showed a kind of mature and profound appearance. It was Xiao Xiao. Originally, he had been sitting on a rock at the top of the mountain, wanting to absorb the essence of the sun and moon. However, he quickly discovered that the essence was too much for him to bear, so he had no choice but to move here. Unexpectedly, this place had the advantage of being hidden and abundant. The surrounding small animals were running around Xiao Xiao. At this time, Xiao Xiao had already entered a meditative state. Everything around him seemed to be in the void. With the nourishment of spiritual energy, the small bead inside Xiao Xiao's body, that was wrapped in a lotus flower, began to move. The spirit concealment technique was a kind of mist in the body. Like a brush, Xiao Zhao's internal organs and various meridians were painted with different colors. When the cultivation reached a certain point, the demonic energy that emerged from the top of the head would also be decorated with the color of the surrounding environment. It was like a chameleon that changed with the surrounding color. In fact, it was not to remove the demonic energy, but to assimilate the demonic energy, treating the symptoms but not the root cause. However, this skill was currently Xiao Zhao's only choice. Being able to conceal one or two things had already increased his safety factor by 80%. Before, Xiao Zhao's progress was only less than half, but he could feel that the meridians of his upper body seemed to have changed color. However, when it reached his dantian, it was stuck. The small golden bead was like a naughty child, unwilling to be bound by the mist. The mist wanted to wrap around him, but he would always kick it away. In this way, they went back and forth for dozens of rounds. Every time, it would end with the victory of the small bead. The top of Xiao Zhao's head gradually emerged with various colors of mist, swirling around the top of his head and around his body. The surrounding colors seemed to be assimilated. All kinds of colors were rotated by a brush and mixed in the palette of Xiao Zhao's body, changing color. Xiao Zhao himself was unaware. He was still motionless like an old monk in meditation. He was more like an immortal who was about to become an immortal. After Yanran returned home, she took out the hibiscus book. Previously, she had practiced 1 or 2 chapters under her grandfather's instructions. However, it was very difficult to get started with this book, and there were many terms that she did not understand. Some special symbols were drawn on the front page of the book. Yanran originally thought that they were oracle bone inscriptions, but after taking a closer look, they did not look like it at all. She did not know which language they were from. She had searched through all the human languages in the world, but could not find anything similar. Therefore, her practice was put on hold. She originally wanted to ask her grandfather again, but before she could do so, Xiao Zhao's incident happened. Yanran's current practice had already reached the peak of Zixuan. She had been waiting for an opportunity to seek her own breakthrough and enter the higher void realm. As far as she knew, there were not many higher voids in the whole world. There were only a few people in an aristocratic family. If an aristocratic family wanted to gain a foothold in the world, the level they could reach was very important. The higher the level of the aristocratic family, the more people there were, and the more power they had in the whole world of cultivation. This was also the reason why Elder Yin valued Yanran very much. Yanran looked at the hibiscus score. The words in it were curvy and crawling around like earthworms. She could not help but have a headache. She decided not to think about it. She directly took it to Xiao Zhao to see if he, a person from the devil world, could understand this kind of earthworm writing. First, she wanted to see if it could help Xiao Zhao's devil qi. Second, she wanted to see if it could help her breakthrough. She wanted to see if she could kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Yanran directly put the book in her arms and went to the back of the mountain. She knew that Xiao Zhao had been in the back of the mountain recently. Elder Yin had told her that this book must be kept well. She also knew that if she took out the book to show others, she would be violating her grandfather's order. However, Yanran did not care so much now. She had no other way to save Xiao Zhao. This was the only way she could think of. When Yanran arrived, Xiao Zhao was still meditating. He had been sitting here for 7 days and 7 nights. The small tadpoles in his mind and the small beads in his dantian were constantly running with each other, fighting with the surrounding environment. When Yanran arrived, it was the most tense moment. Yanran saw that Xiao Zhao's head was oozing fine sweat. His clothes were all wet and stuck to his body, revealing his strong and slender body. Yanran knew that it was a critical moment for him. It seemed that he was about to break through. She did not know if the breakthrough of the devil world was the same as that of the human world. Xiao Zhao's face was getting paler and paler. His whole body seemed to be suffering great pain. The skin that was exposed to the outside gradually became transparent. Layer by layer, the flesh color disappeared from the skin and was slowly replaced by a white color. After a while it turned black. Black, white, and flesh color were like 3 people in a tug-of-war. Whoever had more strength would have more color on their exposed skin. Xiao Zhao's face also changed a lot. Perhaps it was because of the spirit concealment technique. The color of his body changed with the surrounding environment. Time passed bit by bit, and Xiao Zhao's body slowly turned green. There were shades of green, and it was lush and verdant. At this time, Xiao Zhao's face gradually became distorted. The surrounding air seemed to be squeezed by the various colors he released. The surrounding small animals were scared and ran in all directions. The surrounding air was no longer friendly, forming a large whirlpool, revolving around Xiao Zhao's entire body and the top of her head. Yanran saw that things were not good, and quickly set up a boundary around them to prevent Xiao Zhao from becoming a disaster when he exploded. Xiao Zhao had really reached the limit of his tolerance. The various colors on his body squeezed him very hard. He was like a person who was forced to eat a lot of food, and at this time, he was still being forced to eat chili. What kind of experience was this? He just wanted to vomit. He just wanted to release from his whole body. The fluctuation of spiritual power around him was so strong that it had spread outside in waves. Yanran's grandfather, Elder Yan, suddenly felt a big fluctuation of spiritual power around him. His eyes widened. Was a master about to break through? Elder Yan was very sensitive to such things. He directly walked out of the room and looked in the direction of the back mountain. He couldn't see anything for now. Only spiritual power was being pushed over. Yanran found that it was a mistake for her to be inside the node. She was also constantly squeezed inside, which was very uncomfortable. However, the boundary had blocked her way out. She could only keep resisting the danger brought by Xiao Zhao's breakthrough. Xiao Zhao himself didn't know that Yanran was next to him. He released his devil energy without restraint. Only by releasing the devil energy from his body could he feel comfortable. Yanran had been resisting with all her strength, but it still didn't work. Xiao Zhao's devil energy was too strong. It had pushed her to the edge of the boundary, and her whole body was about to stick to the boundary. Her hands were still in front of her chest, but at this time, she had no choice but to put her hands and feet on the boundary. The rest of the pressure pressed into every pore of her body. There was no way to resist at all. She felt that her body was about to be squashed. Xiao Zhao was also in extreme pain at this time. He shouted loudly, "Ah!" His whole body felt like it was pierced by a sharp sword. At that moment, an embroidery needle was shot into every pore of his body. After the needles passed through his pores, they all shot into the woods behind him. Xiao Zhao completely fainted. At this moment, Yanran's own breakthrough was triggered by Xiao Zhao's last crazy outburst. She thought to herself, "Oh no, why am I going to break through at this time?" At this time, she had already used all the strength in her body to resist Xiao Zhao's devil energy. If she didn't succeed this time, Xiao Zhao still had more power waiting behind. Then Yanran wouldn't be able to resist anymore. The two forces collided with each other, and then hit the boundary. Then, they bounced back and rushed toward Yanran. Yanran couldn't resist anymore, and spat out a mouthful of blood. Then she also fainted. What Yanran didn't see was that the last mouthful of blood burst out the potential in her body. The purple gas above her head soared into the sky. After flying to the sky, it turned white and wrapped her whole body again. She had broken through. Chapter 76. Yanran's breakthrough caused a great sensation. Everyone, including Elder Yan, rushed to the back of the mountain. Elder Yan knew that it was caused by Zixuan's breakthrough to the first realm of the virtual realm. A small mushroom cloud rose in the sky, as if a hole had been opened. A golden light shone down from the sky, and shone on a certain area of the back of the mountain. Elder Yan had a guess. He knew that there were only a few Zixuan in the south, and the most likely one was Yanran. Did Yanran have a breakthrough? Elder Yan was ecstatic. If that was the case, the South's status in the whole cultivation world would rise to another level. Basically, all the other families would have to listen to him. He had to rush to the back of the mountain to verify the truth of this matter. If it was not Yanran, but someone else, he would see if it was possible to recruit that person. He could not let other cultivators gain the upper hand by making the first move. The vision in the sky flashed away, Apart from Elder Yin, several other figures also rushed to the back of the mountain. Elder Yin was not only gambling with his own guess, but also racing against time with other cultivators to see who could enter the first realm of the virtual realm. In the seal, Yinran was knocked out by Xiao Zhao's power. Before she passed out, she instinctively broke through her limit and successfully reached the first realm of the virtual realm. Xiao Zhao also broke through, but his devil chi breakthrough was not exactly the same as Yinran's. Xiao Zhao also passed out after challenging his limit, but he could clearly feel that the little bead in his dantian had finally grown bigger. Soon, he woke up and looked around in a daze. Inside the enchantment, all the flowers and trees had been turned into powder, and a girl's body was lying on the ground. Her clothes were tattered, and two white and tender long legs were clearly exposed in front of Xiao Zhao. Why did she look so familiar? The girl's body proportions were extremely good. She had slender jade-like legs and smooth calves. At this time, one of her shoes had already fallen out. Her round ankle was delicate and smooth, simply like ice and jade bones. Looking up, Xiao Zhao found that Yinran was lying unconscious on the edge of the seal. He rushed up and checked Yinran's breath. Then he breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, she was fine. He forcefully pinched her philtrum. Yinran's brows furrowed slightly, and she slowly woke up. She moved slightly, and her entire body felt as if it was falling apart. It was a heart-wrenching pain, but now she felt that all the meridians in her body had been opened, and her chi was flowing smoothly. It seemed that she had finally entered the first realm of the virtual realm. She looked at Xiao Zhao, who was covered in dust, and was also in a mess. "How are you? Are you okay?" Xiao Zhao smiled at her. "I'm fine." Then he took off his coat. Although it was torn a few times, it could still be wrapped around Yinran. At this time, Yinran noticed her sorry state. Her face was slightly red. She wrapped Xiao Zhao's coat tightly and said to him, "Let's go." Xiao Zhao's ears suddenly twitched. "It seems that we can't leave. Someone is coming." "Oh no, it seems to be Grandpa." Xiao Zhao quickly hid. Yinran suddenly became anxious. She quickly returned the coat to Xiao Zhao and told him to hide behind a large rock. Xiao Zhao looked at Yinran's exposed white thighs and touched his nose. "Don't make a sound. Put away your demonic chi. Grandpa is in the empty saint realm. He will know if there is any movement around us." Xiao Zhao knew that Yinran's grandfather was powerful. He used the spirit concealment technique to hide all of his demonic chi, becoming one with the surroundings. At the same time, he added another layer of demonic chi around himself, blending into the night. Sure enough, a clear voice soon floated over. Yinran hurriedly stood up and called out to her grandpa. Elder Yin was overjoyed. "Yinran, it really is you. Did you break through?" "Yes, Grandpa. I was cultivating here when I suddenly felt signs of a breakthrough. Then I gritted my teeth and rushed over." Yinran clearly replied, "Oh, you can break through without outside help. That's too amazing. This is the first time I've heard of this. Ha ha ha, good. No matter what method you used, you are the first person in our southern family to enter the empty saint realm." Yinran felt a little guilty. She hurriedly said to her grandfather, "Grandpa, I just finished the breakthrough. I'm a little embarrassed. Let's go back." Grandpa saw that Yinran was indeed disheveled. He took off his jacket and put it on Yinran. "Let's go." At this time, a few people rushed over. "Wait a minute." When they got closer, they saw that there was a faint white demonic chi coming out of Yinran's head. She really was in the empty saint realm. They didn't have time to greet Yinran's grandfather. They asked directly, "Little girl, were you the one who just broke through?" "Yes, Grandpa. I just broke through." The elders looked at her with admiration and envy. "Elder Yin, you are so lucky. Your southern family actually has an empty saint realm cultivator." "Ha ha ha, Elder Yi, I'm sorry. This is not only a member of our southern family, but also my granddaughter. It's rare to have an empty saint realm cultivator after so many years. How about you guys? Is there anyone who has already successfully cultivated it? You have to hurry up. My granddaughter is tired. We'll be leaving first." Yinran's grandfather was very proud. He could show off in front of the elders of the Eastern District. This was a rare happy event. He was about to leave when he turned back and asked casually, Elder Yi, the south is my territory. May I ask why you are here? Elder Yi answered vaguely, I'm just passing by. Yinran's grandfather laughed out loud. I'm sorry. It's really rare for you to see such a magnificent scene while passing by. Elder Yi of the Eastern District gritted his teeth. This old thing will compete with me. He will never admit defeat. However, this Yinran was really powerful. She had already entered the empty saint realm at such a young age. When would the Dongfang family have such a person? After Yinran and Elder Yin left, Elder Yi and a few others stayed in the same place. They were still looking around for other traces. Elder Yi, why aren't you leaving? Someone asked. This matter is a bit strange. It's extremely difficult for a master like Zixuan to break through to the empty saint realm. It's impossible to break through on her own. There must be external help. However, on our way here, other than the slight phenomenon caused by the breakthrough, there were no other strange phenomena. This is very abnormal. What we need to do now is to find some clues. Xiao Xiao had been listening to their conversation. He was anxious. Why haven't these people left? If they continue to look, they will find me. These people split up and searched. One of them came in the direction of Xiao Xiao. Xiao Xiao was so nervous that his palms were sweating. He was evaluating his chances of winning if he fought them head-on. However, when Xiao Xiao heard Yinran's grandfather call this person Elder Yi, he should also be a Saint Emptiness Realm expert. Xiao Xiao might be able to deal with other people, but if she were to fight against Elder Yi, she probably wouldn't even know how she died. He saw that the person was getting closer and closer. Soon, he would reach the side of the big rock. Xiao Xiao had already thought about it. If he attacked, he could only resist, and then take the opportunity to escape. Just as Xiao Xiao had gathered the devil chi on her finger, and was about to point at the person, she suddenly heard another person call out, There's a book here. It was this sentence that stopped Xiao Xiao's footsteps. Xiao Xiao was shocked. Why is there a book? It must be Yinran's. Since Yinran had it with her, he couldn't let those people take it away. He had to find a way to get it back. Xiao Xiao didn't think too much about it. He rushed out and picked up the book on the ground. He laughed and said, So it was here. You made me look for it. Elder Yi and the others were shocked. Even with their cultivation, they didn't notice that there was someone nearby. Who are you? I'm a traveler. I came here to explore. I dropped a book here, so I came back to look for it. Xiao Xiao stuffed the book into his clothes and turned to leave. Stop. Why are you here in the middle of the night? Elder Yi blocked his way. I can't sleep in the middle of the night. What can you do about it? Xiao Xiao said with a sloppy look. Elder Yi carefully observed Xiao Xiao. He saw that this person had an extraordinary appearance and a noble temperament. However, he couldn't see anything strange about him. Could it be such a coincidence? Why would an ordinary person appear here in the middle of the night? Did you see a girl just now? Girl? What girl? I have a few companions waiting for me in front. Are you talking about them? Elder Yi patted him on the shoulder and used a bit of spirit chi to test him. If he was a cultivator like them, he would definitely resist instinctively. However, the spirit chi that entered his shoulder was like a stone sinking into the sea. It didn't cause any waves. Xiao Xiao was expressionless. It didn't seem like he was affected at all. Xiao Xiao patted Elder Yi on the shoulder. However, Xiao Xiao didn't use any demonic chi. He just greeted him normally. He smiled at Elder Yi and said, Elders need to take care of their health at night. Go back to sleep early. Unlike us youngsters, we like to explore at night. Bye-bye. After he finished speaking, he walked away in large strides in front of Elder Yi. Elder Yi and the others looked at Xiao Xiao's back as he walked away. They were even more confused. Elder Yi, why did you let him go? He's not a cultivator. I've already tested him. It shouldn't have anything to do with him. But him appearing here at this time is very suspicious. Let's talk about this later. That girl breaking through to the higher void stage might be her own ability. The few great families were quite fierce in fighting for the right to speak in the world. This time, Elder Yi came to the south to investigate the situation of the southern families. He didn't expect to meet a higher void stage cultivator. This was a big blow to Elder Yi. Looks like we have to take our time. Let's go first. After Xiao Xiao returned home, he pulled off the clothes on his shoulder and saw a red handprint on his shoulder. Just now, Elder Yi used a bit of spirit qi to penetrate his body. At that time, he seemed to be fine, but he had already suffered internal injuries. The old man of the higher void stage was indeed different. He could cripple a person with a single move. Xiao Xiao had experienced it today. He knew that if he showed a little bit of demonic qi today, his little life would be gone. Chapter 77. Xiao Xiao asked Wu Bo Lai to apply some medicine to him, and then he ate a few medicinal pills to heal his wounds. Uncle Wu's eyes were filled with tears as he said, "Young master, you have suffered in the human world. Young master, you must speed up your cultivation. Only by becoming stronger can you make these people unable to do anything to you." Uncle Wu cried as he mumbled, "All right, Uncle Wu, don't cry. I know. I will speed up my cultivation. Don't worry about me." Xiao Xiao comforted Uncle Wu as he took out the book he picked up from the ground to read. Uncle Wu glanced at it and said, "Hibiscus? Young master, where did you get this book?" "This is Yinran's. She dropped it on the ground, so I picked it up for her." "Young master, this book is a strange one. It was written for the cultivators of the demon world." Xiao Xiao flipped it open and took a look. "What the hell is this? I can't understand the words inside." Uncle Wu chuckled and said, "Young master, do you remember that we had a dictionary-like book on the second floor?" Xiao Xiao thought for a moment. There was indeed such a book. He had always thought that it was useless, so he threw it aside. That book was used to translate these kinds of words. It was a strange book passed down from the ancient times of the demon world. The words in it were never seen before, but at the same time, it was passed down as a dictionary. I brought the dictionary here, but because this book has long been missing, it has never been used. TSK, what a coincidence. Xiao Xiao was now a bookworm. "Young master, if you cultivate according to this, you will definitely be able to defeat these people in the human world who want to harm you." "Haha, I have searched high and low for it, only to find it by chance. Yinran is my lucky star." The next morning, Xiao Xiao was in a good mood. The sun was shining brightly outside the house. He carried his backpack and swayed his arms as he came to school. Ever since the previous incident subsided, Xiao Xiao's popularity had risen again, and he had gained a group of die-hard fans on campus. Along the way, he added a few more people on WeChat before arriving at the classroom. Yinran came early today and sat in her seat. Xiao Xiao looked and saw that the little purple bun on Yinran's head had turned into a little white bun, but it was still sitting listlessly on Yinran's head. "What's wrong, Beauty Yen? Is there anything I can do for you?" Xiao Xiao leaned over Yinran's table and winked at her. Yinran lowered her voice and leaned closer to Xiao Xiao. "Did you pick up anything last night?" A delicate fragrance drifted into Xiao Xiao's nose. Xiao Xiao enjoyed it and took a deep breath. He also lowered his voice and said to Yinran, "You smell so good today." Yinran glared at him, but the little white bun on her head was sweet. She grinned. "I'm talking business with you. Did you pick up anything?" Xiao Xiao sat back in his seat and leaned back. "Don't mention it. I almost lost my life yesterday." Zhang Deong leaned over. "If anyone dares to kill our brother Qiao, I'll fight them to the death." Xiao Xiao was immediately amused by him. "I'll call you the next time we have a group fight. I'll be on call. What's going on?" Yinran was a little anxious. Xiao Xiao leaned forward and lowered his voice. He said in Yinran's ear, "Yesterday, after you left, that old man Yi found me. He stretched out his hand to test me. I pretended that I didn't resist and fooled him." Yinran was anxious. "Were you hurt?" "Almost. My whole body felt like it was burned. Uncle Wu helped me heal for a long time, before I recovered." Xiao Xiao pouted and flattened his mouth. "After school, I'll help you unblock all the meridians in your body. Don't let any of his spiritual power remain in your body." When Xiao Xiao heard that Yinran was willing to take the initiative to heal him, his eyes lit up, and he secretly smiled. He whispered in Yinran's ear, "Come to my house directly after school. I'll ask Uncle Wu to cook for us." The warm air blew on Yinran's ear. She moved to the side and cleared her throat. Her eyes were a little distant. Well, how did you escape? He thought I was a normal person and let me go. However, I gained a lot. Xiao Xiao deliberately kept her in suspense. What did you gain? I picked up a book that you dropped. Yinran's eyes lit up. You really picked up that book? Of course. If there's anything, just leave it to me. You can rest assured. Was it because of that book that you were discovered by Old Man Yi? Well, you can say that. However, your brother Qiao is both intelligent and courageous. I fought a battle of wits with Old Man Yi and successfully escaped. Yinran gave Xiao Xiao a thumbs up. Her eyes curved into crescents as she smiled. She could imagine how difficult it was to escape from a Saint Void Realm expert. Even she wasn't sure if she could do it. After receiving Yinran's praise, Xiao Xiao was as cocky as a little peacock. Yinran couldn't see the little black gas bun now, but she could imagine that the little black gas bun must have spread its feathers. Yinran was finally relieved. If she lost the hibiscus book that her grandfather gave her, she would have committed a great sin. After school, the two of them went to Qiao Zhao's house together. When Uncle Wu saw Yinran, he couldn't stop smiling. Xiao Xiao directly pulled her into his room on the second floor. After locking the door, he threw himself on the bed. Come on. Do you want to take off all your clothes? Yinran didn't know whether to laugh or cry. She also wanted to play around. She said seriously, yes, take off all your clothes. Don't leave a single piece behind. Xiao Xiao was so scared that he immediately sat up. He stared at Yinran for a long time. Then I'll take off my clothes. Will you close your eyes or open them? What's the difference? Open your eyes and be responsible for me. Close your eyes. Forget it. After saying that, he obediently began to take off his clothes. Yinran saw that he was serious and hurriedly held him down. I'm just teasing you. Then, she seemed to think of something, and the little purple gas bun on her head blushed. Xiao Xiao rolled his eyes and looked at Yinran's serious face, and the purple gas bun on her head. He smiled contentedly. Yinran used all the spiritual energy in her body to heal Xiao Xiao. She was now a master of the virtual realm. Unlike before, when she needed to concentrate on every part of Xiao Xiao's body, she only needed to wrap up Xiao Xiao's body. The spiritual energy in his limbs and bones would naturally enter and heal his meridians. Yinran, it's so comfortable. I really hope you can give me a massage every day. After being healed, Xiao Xiao was so comfortable that he almost fell asleep. In your dreams, consider it a reward for helping me pick up the book. Yinran, you don't say, that book is really amazing. How did you know? Can you understand it? Yinran was very strange. Even she couldn't understand Xiao Xiao, but he could. Of course, have you forgotten? I'm from the Devil Realm. Then tell me, what's so amazing about this book? This book is a strange book in the Devil Realm. If the people of the Devil Realm cultivate it, they can be comparable to the Devil King from tens of thousands of years ago. What kind of ability did the Devil King from tens of thousands of years ago have? The Devil King from tens of thousands of years ago was very powerful. At that time, the entire Devil Realm was conquered by him. He had the power to summon all things in the world. He could freeze a mountain into an ice peak in an instant. He could also drain a river in an instant. He could also turn the whole world into a hell. Yinran was shocked, but she didn't believe it. You can exaggerate a 3-point flower to 10 points. If that's the case, then it's really a devil book. After learning it, wouldn't it be a big deal? No, it's just that your ability has increased. As long as your nature is not bad, and you don't always want to harm others, then there won't be any harm. Then there must be a person with a pure nature to practice this magic. Where did you get this book? Xiao Xiao was also very curious. How did something from the Devil Realm come to the human world? I don't know. My grandfather gave it to me. He said that this is an ancient strange book, passed down in our family. Then it seems that your family has some relationship with the Devil Realm, since ancient times. Is that the reason why we are so close? Xiao Xiao suddenly leaned in front of Yinran. Nonsense, who's close to you? Yinran leaned back and pushed Xiao Xiao's face away. Yinran, do you want me to explain to you what's written in this book? You've already broken through yesterday, but I hope you can be more powerful. Why do you want me to be so powerful? You can only protect me if you're powerful, Xiao Xiao said matter-of-factly. At this time, he was lying on the bed, holding his chin with his hand, shaking his little head slightly. His 2 legs were turned up, cute and casual. Xiao Xiao's occasional words made Yinran's heart tighten. Is Xiao Xiao now so dependent on me? Then why don't you think about becoming stronger yourself? Yinran asked directly. Xiao Xiao rolled on the bed. Cultivating is so tiring. Although I'm already quite powerful now. But this book is very difficult. It's not something a leisurely person like me can conquer. Only an elite like you can fully master it. Is it really that difficult? Yinran was a little doubtful. I'm not lying to you. I've already imprinted this book in my mind yesterday. I can understand every word, but I don't know what they mean when they're connected together. I still have to rely on someone with high comprehension, like you, to slowly comprehend it. Moreover, your ability is high. I believe that you'll definitely protect me, and no one will bully me anymore. Xiao Xiao said matter-of-factly. What nonsense are you talking about? No matter how powerful I am, I can't beat a Saint Void Realm grandpa. Moreover, you forgot about that secret letter. They want to get rid of you. Don't you remember that I also broke through yesterday? I've already cultivated the spirit concealment technique to the 5th level. Normal people can't see my devil chi. Otherwise, how could I escape from Old Man Yi yesterday? Isn't it because he couldn't find any devil chi on me? So you're saying that I can report back to Grandpa? Yinran's eyes began to shine with starlight. Of course, you can find a chance to tell your grandpa that you've already dealt with that Xiao Xiao. Then he laid at home for 7 days before completely recovering and becoming a normal person. That's a good idea. I can give it a try. Although Yinran was worried, at least there was a way. The big stone in her heart made it impossible for her to sleep every day. Alright. I've already told you about my matters. Don't worry too much. I'll think of a way myself. Right now, what we need to focus on is how to make our young Miss Yinran even more powerful. Only then can you sweep through the cultivation world and protect a peerless handsome man like me. Yinran was amused by him. The time she spent with Xiao Xiao always made her happy inadvertently. You're so talkative. Then Xiao Xiao began to translate the earthworms on the hibiscus chart word by word for Yinran. Sure enough, as Xiao Xiao said, even if each little earthworm translated the words, it wouldn't be easy for them to understand. However, Yinran was perceptive and motivated. She first memorized the little earthworms in her mind. The 2 of them had been seriously studying head to head, feet to feet, and a trace of warmth flowed in the room. Time passed, and the collision of ideas made the 2 of them want to continue even when the sky was dark. Young Miss Yinran, young master, it's time to eat. Uncle Wu's voice sounded from outside the door. Xiao Xiao pulled Yinran to the dining room and saw a long table full of dishes. Each plate was quite exquisite. There weren't many dishes, but they were all very tempting. One could smell the fragrance from the door from afar. Well, it seems that Uncle Wu has put in a lot of effort. Yinran, today is my celebration for you. Congratulations on entering the Great Void Realm. Xiao Xiao picked up a glass of red wine and looked at Yinran with charming eyes. Although we're underage, there's no banquet without wine. In order to celebrate your success, shall we have a drink? Xiao Xiao's face was particularly perfect under the light. Yinran looked at Xiao Xiao's handsome face and fiery eyes. She couldn't help but feel a little drunk. Okay, let's drink a little. Xiao Xiao was very happy. The 2 of them drank and sang, thinking about the future. Under the influence of alcohol, they gradually only had each other in their eyes. Chapter 78. As the days passed, there were only a few days left before the final mission, given to Yinran by Elder Yinran. Yinran really wanted to cast a spell to stop time. During this period of time, she had been repeatedly testing with Xiao Xiao to see if his demonic aura would erupt. Yinran, don't be so heartless. Just treat me as a heinous person and torture me ruthlessly. Xiao Xiao said to Yinran with a cheeky smile. Are you sure this method will work? Yinran was very uncertain and somewhat reluctant to do it. Of course, Uncle Wu said that in the Devil Realm, It is very easy to trigger a person's demonic aura and make them do bad things. As long as you beat them up desperately and make them have the mentality of revenge, their demonic aura will naturally surge out crazily. Xiao Xiao explained. But looking at your face, I can't really hit it. Yinran still felt a little reluctant. What, now you feel sorry for me? Don't hit my face. I still need to rely on this face to curry favor in front of you. You can hit other parts of my body as you wish. Xiao Xiao began to talk nonsense again. Alright, then I'll try. If you really can't stand it, you can tell me. Yinran made up her mind to be ruthless. An expert of the virtualization realm did not even need to make a move. Just a pressure from her could make you kneel and beg for mercy. And after this period of practice, Xiao Zhao's cultivation had also improved greatly. When Yinran released 30% of her pressure, Xiao Xiao was not prepared. He immediately knelt on the ground, unable to suppress the urge to submit. Can you stand it? If you can't, I'll stop. Although Xiao Xiao was in a sorry state, he still smiled at Yinran and said, Come on, your brother Xiao, I can stand it. Just as he finished speaking, a powerful force exploded in the air, condensing into an invisible ice wall, pressing down on Xiao Zhao's body, forcing him to bend down, bend his knees and lower his head. Xiao Xiao gritted his teeth, put his hands on his knees, and tried to straighten his body and raise his head. Because of the overly strong resistance, his body was trembling. The power of the higher void was indeed strong. Every cell in his blood was clamoring for him to submit. Every bone in his body felt like it was about to be broken, and every muscle felt like it was about to be cut off. Xiao Xiao suddenly laughed. He propped himself up and raised his chin high. His face was pale, and his eyes were red. He gritted his teeth and pulled up the corners of his lips. His smile was ruffian and arrogant. His chin was sharp, but his lower jaw was firm. When he raised his head, the lines of his neck were elongated. Under the light, it was extremely beautiful, like a magical wildflower that had killed its way out of the rocks and gravel at the highest point of the cliff, blooming proudly and looking down on everything. That's enough. Add a little more. At this time, Xiao Xiao could basically straighten his body. He raised his eyebrows and smiled arrogantly. Yinran heaved a sigh of relief. Fortunately, it was much better than she thought. Thus, in the next second, Yinran increased the pressure to 50%. Xiao Xiao couldn't bear it at once, and his whole body was pressed down to his knees in an instant. Fortunately, he held on at the last second. When his knees were less than 5 centimeters from the ground, he held on. The tip of one foot touched the ground, and his fingers supported the ground. His knuckles turned from white to green, and because of the excessive force, they trembled at a high frequency. The strong pressure made it difficult for him to breathe, and his face was completely drained of blood. Xiao Xiao let go of the hand supporting the ground, stabilized his breathing, and straightened his back little by little. But at the moment when he was about to stand up, his strength couldn't bear it, and he was pressed down again. He supported the ground again, stood up again and failed again. Supported the ground, stood up and failed again. Over and over again, many broken beads of sweat had accumulated on the ground. Yinran felt that the corners of her eyes and chest were sore and swollen. Xiao Xiao, I'm going to increase my strength. You have to hold on. After saying that, the pressure pressed down on Xiao Zhao's head like Mount Tai. Xiao Xiao couldn't bear it anymore, and was pressed to the ground. He felt a sweet taste in his throat, and spat out a mouthful of blood. Yinran hurriedly withdrew the pressure, and went forward to hug Xiao Xiao. At this time, Xiao Xiao finally recovered. In Yinran's arms he smiled weakly. I'm fine. Didn't you see that I made it? Her brilliance and forbearance were the most moving. Yinran suppressed the discomfort in her heart, and said to Xiao Xiao, This is just pressure. A real expert will beat someone up while using pressure. This is too hard for you. Then is it hard to get rid of the devil chi for me, or this kind of training? Xiao Xiao asked, panting. Yinran was silent. Then it's fine. Miss Yin has always been cold-hearted. You can't be soft-hearted now. Yinran bit her lip and nodded. In the following days, Yinran hardened her heart and used all kinds of methods, and even beat Xiao Xiao violently. Xiao Xiao didn't resist at all, and let Yinran beat him like this. The more she beat him, the happier he became. Blood flowed from the corner of his mouth, and he said to Yanran with a smile, "Hit me, it doesn't hurt at all." Yanran really hardened her heart. She had to make Xiao Xiao feel pain. Only pain could stimulate the devil qi in his body and make him want to take revenge. But after beating him, even she felt sorry for him. And then she hurriedly used her spiritual power to help him heal. In this way, Xiao Xiao finally got through it again and again. Although he was smiling, all the meridians in his body were really tortured by Yanran, who was in the higher void realm. They were constantly broken and reconnected, and then broken again. In the end, Xiao Xiao couldn't laugh anymore. At the last moment before he closed his eyes and fainted, he said to Yanran, "I'm in so much pain." Yanran hugged Xiao Xiao in her arms. Her heart hurt as if it was branded, but she knew that Xiao Xiao had to pass this test. Although it couldn't be compared to the pain caused by extracting the devil qi, it was still unbearable for ordinary people. Xiao Xiao was in pain, and so was she. One was in pain physically, and the other was in pain in her heart. Only by completely curing him and watching him laugh and jump and talk to her did Yanran feel that her heart had recovered. She knew that she had played. She had fallen in love with this unscrupulous and kind, peerless, handsome man. Finally, it was the last day. Yanran stood nervously at the door of her grandfather's study. She was still in a panic. She took a deep breath and encouraged herself. Then she knocked on the door and walked in. "Grandpa, I'm here to report the mission. The task you gave me has been successfully completed." Yanran returned to her cold and rational appearance. "Oh, how did you do it?" Elder Yan was fiddling with the teapot in his hand. "According to our rules, I extracted the devil qi from his body." Yanran answered calmly, "Are you willing to do that? Can you do that?" Elder Yan asked casually. Yanran's heart skipped a beat. "Yes, Grandpa. There's nothing I can't do. As long as it's something harmful to human beings, I will never tolerate it." Yanran's words were sonorous and powerful. "Good, that's my good granddaughter. Those who do big things don't care about trifles. These demons and monsters will strangle him in the cradle. Otherwise, he will cause us more trouble in the future. And you are now representing the heavyweight of our southern families. Everyone is paying attention to your every move. You have to be a good representative of the southern families. There will be more important tasks and burdens on your shoulders in the future. Grandpa is very satisfied with you. Sometimes, you make some small mistakes, so that you won't make big mistakes in the future. You have to learn from this incident. Although you set things right in the end, your kindness has become your weakness. Yanran, with your qualifications, you will take over my position in the future. As a superior person, you have to be ruthless. You can't act on impulse. You can't rely on your mood. There are many relationships that need to be balanced and coordinated. There are many things that you have to do. As long as you don't make a big mistake, you will be able to take over my position. Yanran, I believe in you." Hearing Grandpa's long speech, Yanran's heart trembled. "Thank you, Grandpa." This was the first time that she had disobeyed and lied to Grandpa. This was something that he had never thought of. But for Xiao Xiao, she had to do it. She hoped Grandpa could forgive her. Coming out of Grandpa's house, Yanran looked up at the sky and breathed a long sigh of relief. The big stone in her heart finally fell to the ground. She suddenly felt much lighter. The pressure that had been in her heart for a long time was released. She walked briskly down the stairs and got on the car. But these movements were seen by Elder Yan, who was standing at the window of the study. Elder Yan's eyes darkened. He picked up the phone and dialed a familiar number. "Director Fong, long time no see. How are you?" "Elder Yan, how is your grandmother? I've been thinking about you." Director Fong's hearty laughter came from the phone. "I'm fine. Yanran usually works in the district under your jurisdiction. Thank you for taking care of her." "Elder Yan, what are you talking about? Yanran doesn't need me to take care of her. She is the pride of our district education bureau. Do you have any orders for me today? Just tell me directly. I promise to complete the task." "Ha ha ha, Director Fong, you know me well. I do have something to ask you. There is a classmate in the same class as Yanran. His name is Xiao Xiao. Do you know him?" Yes, he is a handsome young man. He is famous in Nanchuan Middle School. Last time, he won the Information Science Olympiad. He also won glory for the district. Very good. This young man's grades weren't very good, but now his grades have improved. So you are quite optimistic about this young man. Elder Yin was a little surprised. Yes, this young man is very excellent. Such a student is rare in the district. Director Fong reported what he knew to Elder Yin one by one. It seems that there is some discrepancy with the information we got. Here is the thing. We got the news that this Xiao Xiao has been contaminated with devil energy, but we don't know whether it is true or not. So I want you to do me a favor. Find a way to verify whether there is devil energy in his body. How could such a thing happen? How could he be contaminated? This matter needs to be taken seriously. It would be a pity if such a good seedling turned into a bad person. Elder Yin, don't worry. I have been your subordinate for many years. I will help you investigate this small matter clearly. One more thing, pay attention to keep it a secret. Especially don't let Yinran know. After all, he is her classmate. Don't worry. I know the discipline of our organization. I will give you an answer after I finish the task. Okay, then I will leave it to you. Elder Yin hung up the phone. Director Fong had always been a great general under him. However, he was a hidden person. Unless it was necessary, he would not use his power. He was one of the few masters of Zixuan in the southern aristocratic family. Chapter 79. Brother Qiao, let me tell you a big piece of news. I just saw Bing Shanyan smile at me. Ma Xiaoxian felt as if his entire life had been shocked. Are you a masochist? You'll only feel happy if she doesn't smile at you, right? Xiao Xiao slapped him on the head. No, it's normal for her not to smile at me. If she smiled at me, could it be that she likes me? There's a beauty smiling at me. Ma Xiaoxian put on a starry-eyed expression. Xiao Xiao wanted to twist his head off and kick it like a ball. What's in your head? No matter how you look at it, she wouldn't like you. She doesn't even like me. Brother Qiao, you're too much of a blow. Ma Xiaoxian covered his head. Although I'm not as good-looking as you, I'm still a warm guy. Hey, big news, big news. Bing Shanyan's smile today, everyone is flattered. Zhang Daong skipped over. Xiao Xiao was shocked. Yinran seemed to be in a good mood. Could it be that something good happened? After a while, Yinran walked into the classroom with a smile on her face. She even took the initiative to greet everyone. Wang Jingyun's glasses slid down from his nose onto the table. He blankly responded. Hi Yinran, good morning. The sun rose from the west. The little white bun on Yinran's head actually learned from Xiao Xiao and started doing a street dance. It jumped around on Yinran's head. The handsome head froze and directly gave Xiao Xiao a flirtatious look. Seeing Yinran like this, Xiao Xiao wasn't used to it. He poked Yinran's back. Hey beauty, what are you so happy about? Nothing. I just feel that today's sun is especially bright, and the students are very friendly. Yinran turned her head and said to Xiao Xiao with a bright smile. You don't want to say, or I'll tickle you. Xiao Xiao pretended to be threatening. His hand turned into a claw and was about to reach under Yinran's armpit. Yinran quickly used her hand to stop Xiao Xiao's claw. She gave a flirtatious look and said, Don't mess around. We're in the classroom. Xiao Xiao's body went limp after hearing her words. He said to Yinran in a low voice, So you mean that we can mess around when we're not in the classroom? Yinran looked at him and began to talk nonsense without a bottom line. She stared at him and said with a straight face, Don't talk nonsense. She then turned her head, ants of the world of course. Xiao Xiao looked at the little white bun on top of her head. It was faintly dyed with a layer of red. He opened his mouth in satisfaction. Students, the final exam is coming soon. Time really flies. In the blink of an eye, half of the second year of high school is almost over. There are only 500 days left until the final college entrance exam. The winter exam of the second year of high school is very important. If you don't have a solid foundation, it will affect your college entrance exam results. Everyone must pay attention to it and build a solid foundation. Be prepared for the college entrance exam next semester. If you can afford it, you should study more during the winter break. You must cherish your life in high school. The teacher on the stage kept ringing the alarm bell. conveying the anxiety to everyone. The exam is coming soon. How are we going to survive? Zhang Daong began to wail. Brother Qiao, you were at the bottom in the first year of high school. How did you become the leader in the second year? What trick do you have? Can you teach me a little? Ma Xiaoxian also rushed to Qiao Zhao's side and began to ask for advice. There's no trick. You'll be fine after your brain is damaged, Xiao Xiao said casually. That's true. Brother Qiao has been to the hospital so many times. Is it really fine after your brain is damaged? I want my brain to be damaged too. They laughed and joked. Soon it was time for class. There seemed to be people visiting the school today. The campus was very quiet. The principal accompanied a few leaders to each classroom to inspect. Director Fong, this is our high school department. This floor is for the second year of high school. We have 2 students in the second year, 3 class. I guess you've heard of them. One is Yin Ran, the gold medal of the Olympiad. The other is Qiao Xiao, the champion of the National Information Science Olympiad. Principal Yi personally accompanied a few leaders of the Education Bureau today. He was introducing the school's outstanding students to them. Oh, 2 from the same class. Not bad, not bad. Which 2 are they? Point them out to me. Please look. It's the man and woman sitting in the last row, and the second last row in the corner. Principal Yi directly pointed at Qiao Xiao, and Yin ran from outside the window. The whole class was in class. Because the window was closed, they didn't know what the leaders outside were talking about. They only saw Principal Yi pointing. Brother Qiao, Principal Yi seems to be pointing at you and Yin Ran. Zhang Daong secretly nudged Qiao Xiao. Qiao Xiao was currently using a book to block the teacher's view and sleeping on the table. Although his grades were already very good, his habits in class weren't very good. Whenever he had the chance, he would sleep on his stomach. Oh, just point. Don't disturb my sleep. Qiao Xiao smacked his lips and turned to continue sleeping. But his face just happened to turn to the window and was seen by Director Fong of the Education Bureau. You're talking about the one sleeping on his stomach? Director Fong's voice couldn't help but become stiff. This damn Qiao Xiao. How could he sleep in class and even be caught red-handed by the director? Isn't this a disgrace to the school? So what if you won a big prize? If you can't even do the basic quality of a student, how can you be a good student? This? Principal Yi was quite embarrassed. I'll remind their class teacher that they must tighten the classroom discipline. How about this? This Qiao Xiao can be considered a famous student. In a while, you can call him to the student discussion. Director Fong's face was gloomy. He took the lead and walked to another class. Principal Ye's head was full of cold sweat. The clothes on his back were a little wet. Director Fong's requirements in teaching were very strict. He also had high expectations for Nanchuan High School. Every year, he would visit the school and invite teachers and students for an interview. Originally, he had already chosen the candidates for the discussion, but he didn't expect to add Qiao Xiao at the last minute. He didn't inform Qiao Xiao beforehand. What if he talked nonsense? But now there was no time for impromptu training. The discussion would begin after the tour of the school. The venue wasn't even set up for Sika. Principal Yi quickly gave the dean next to him a look and ordered. Quickly go and add Qiao Xiao to the discussion and arrange Sika's seat. Then, you tell him in advance that he can't talk nonsense. After that, he hurriedly followed Director Fong's footsteps. The dean also knew the seriousness of the matter. Seeing that Director Fong and Principal Yi had already walked to the corner and were about to go downstairs, he quietly lagged behind. He directly knocked on the door of grade 2-3 class. Miss Zhu, please ask Qiao Xiao to come out. This time, Qiao Xiao couldn't sleep anymore. He was directly awakened by Yin Ran. Yin Ran saw that he was actually sleeping and stared at him. The dean is looking for you. Qiao Xiao didn't know what was going on and went out in a daze. Qiao Xiao, how can you sleep in class? The dean lowered his voice and criticized in the corridor. Qiao Xiao scratched his head. He still didn't understand what was going on. Do you know that Director Fong from the Education Bureau saw you sleeping just now? Principal Yi was even introducing your results and the awards you received. How embarrassed do you think it is for Principal Yi? The dean looked as if he expected better from Yi Lingchen. When Qiao Xiao heard this, He finally understood that he had bumped into the muzzle of a gun. He immediately laughed and said to the dean, "Dean, please calm down. I just took a nap. I studied too late last night. It wasn't on purpose. Later, you can find a chance to explain to the principal. Only you know how to talk nonsense. What kind of reason is that? Will anyone here believe it? You always use studying as an excuse." The dean still continued to criticize Xiao Xiao. "Director, you've really wronged me. Think about it. How much effort did I have to put in to go from the last place to the second place? It's common for me to stay up late every night until 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 4 o'clock. That's why I'm sleepy during the day." Yanran looked at Xiao Xiao's mouth in the classroom. The dean was speechless. Okay, I won't argue with you about this. Let me tell you, Director Fong specifically asked you to attend the student conference. When you speak later, you must be more reasonable. Anything that is detrimental to the school, anything that you have opinions about the management of our school, you must not mention it. The director of the Education Bureau and the others came to investigate because they hoped to see a positive image of our school. I see that you are so eloquent and smart enough. You must be able to understand later. The dean quickly changed the topic. There wasn't much time left. This Xiao Xiao was too eloquent. "Oh, do I have to go?" "Of course. Originally, it was arranged for Yinran to go. But now Director Fong specifically asked you to go. Then both of you will go together. Remember, I trust Yinran more. She is also very reliable. You just have to listen to what Yinran says. Don't say anything negative." The dean said earnestly. I understand. Don't worry, Dean. This is related to the principal's performance. I will not embarrass our school. This is related to the school's honor. What does it have to do with the principal's performance? Look at you, Xiao Xiao. You must be steady. Don't talk nonsense. What you said just now was wrong. Do you remember it? The dean's mouth was dry from all the talking. The worry in his heart was like a 1,000-layer pancake. The innermost part of his heart couldn't be released no matter how hard he tried. It's almost time. Hurry up and call Yinran. The two of you come with me to the conference room. Xiao Xiao knocked on the classroom door and said to Miss Zhu. The school invited Yinran to attend the conference. Yinran actually knew that she was going to attend the conference. The teacher had given her the outline of the answers in advance. She just didn't expect Xiao Xiao to go. The two of them followed the dean to the conference room. Yinran quietly asked Xiao Xiao, "Why were you selected?" "How would I know? Because I am handsome." Yinran rolled her eyes. "You only know how to talk nonsense. Were you caught sleeping just now?" "Hehe, Yinran, I knew you were the smartest. Why can't anything escape your mind? Be careful when you speak later. This Director Fong is very powerful." Chapter 80. What's so great about a director like him? I heard that nothing major has happened under his administration. Instead, his performance in managing the school has been improving. That can only mean that his management ability is strong. How can you say that he's great? He should be a master, but I can't tell his level. You mean he's also a cultivator? I just have a feeling. But there's no chi coming out of his head, so I'm not sure. But the aura around him was very strong and oppressive. The two of them whispered to each other, and soon arrived at the meeting room. In the meeting room, the staff had already put Xiao Xiao and Sika on the table in time. It was a rectangular meeting table. The principal and Director Fong were sitting at the head of the table. On the left side of the long table was the accompanying teacher, and on the right side was the student being interviewed. The staff immediately gave Xiao Xiao a copy of the outline of the interview. These are only the questions that may be asked and the answers. He may ask some other questions on the spot. It's up to you. Don't make any mistakes, the staff said again and again. Yinran, isn't this too formal? Xiao Xiao leaned close to Yinran and asked in a low voice. There are some formalities in the officialdom that are necessary. Yinran looked straight ahead when she answered. She didn't even move her body. Xiao Xiao saw that everyone was so serious. He couldn't say anything more and sat up straight. Soon, Principal Yi walked into the meeting room with Director Fong and a group of teachers. After everyone took their seats, Principal Yi gave an opening speech. First of all, we welcome Director Fong to take time out of his busy schedule to do research in our school. We warmly welcome Director Fong's arrival. Next, Vice Principal Wang, please report to Director Fong the results of our school's work in the past year, as well as some shortcomings. After the opening remarks, Vice President Wang went to the reporting table and opened the PowerPoint. He reported the school's lack of achievements in the past year and the main work performance one by one. Everyone present listened very seriously and kept nodding. Xiao Xiao was getting more and more bored. Although the school was also his school, the teacher's bureaucratic speech really didn't make him interested. He also began to nod, but this nod was different from the others. He was beginning to doze off. Yinren happened to be sitting next to him. Seeing him like this, she quietly reached out her hand from below, pinched his thigh, and pinched it hard. Xiao Xiao suddenly woke up and turned to look at Yinren. Yinren glanced at him, indicating that he should listen carefully. Xiao Xiao gave her a helpless look. He took out his phone from under the table and secretly sent Yinren a WeChat message. "You're sexually harassing me." Yinren sneaked a peek at him and immediately gave him a big mop ball. The two's eye contact finally woke Xiao Xiao up a little. However, when he was amused by Yinren, he just happened to catch a glimpse of Director Fong on the stage staring at him. Oh no, he was discovered. He hurriedly flashed a mysterious smile at Bureau Chief Fong. Director Fong seemed to snort through his nose. He glared at him again and didn't look at him anymore. Finally, the tedious report was over. Next was the speech of the student representative. At this time, Xiao Xiao realized that Yinren was not only here as a student representative, but also as a representative to speak. Yinren walked up calmly. She didn't even have a script in her hand. She directly opened the PowerPoint and stood on the podium to report to everyone. Looking at the expressionless Yinren on the podium, Xiao Xiao praised her from the bottom of his heart. His Yinren was the best. She was so calm and steady in everything she did, and she could do it very well. Yinren's report was sonorous and powerful. It reflected the students' liveliness and rigor. The teachers, the principal, and Director Fong were all very satisfied. Director Fong knew that she was Elder Yan's granddaughter. She was indeed the best successor of the southern aristocratic families. She deserved her reputation. Yinren also spoke for a long time. She spoke for about 40 minutes. This time Xiao Xiao didn't doze off. He listened to the whole thing with great interest. When Yinren returned to the seat next to him, Xiao Xiao secretly gave her a thumbs up. After that, it was Bureau Chief Fong's request for the school's teachers. Bureau Chief Fong also had a set of requirements. There were 4 basic points, 5 expositions, and 6 arguments. When Bureau Chief Fong finished speaking, more than an hour had passed. Xiao Xiao's, but was a bit numb from sitting. He secretly sent a message to Yinren. "Can I go to the bathroom?" Yinren shook her finger at him, indicating that she couldn't do it. Xiao Xiao had no choice but to sit there patiently. Director Fong's long speech had finally come to an end. Now it was time for the important Q&A session. "Xiao Xiao, I want to ask, what do you think about sleeping in class?" Director Fong's words immediately woke Xiao Xiao up from his boredom. When he heard Director Fong call him by name, he had to stand up. "Hello, Director Fong. I'm Xiao Xiao from class 2 to 3. I think about sleeping in class. First of all, sleeping in class is definitely wrong. But if a student sleeps in class, you have to understand the situation and why he's sleeping. Is it because the teacher didn't teach well, or the student learned too late? Second of all, does sleeping in class help students recover their energy? Students have a lot of homework to do. If they encounter content that they already know, can they take a break during class so that they can use their energy in more useful places? Finally, sleeping in class is actually not a good sleep. The surrounding noise is too loud. If a student sleeps in class, they should just close their eyes to rest. Sometimes, the content of the teacher's lecture will still be like a mosquito drilling into their ears. When she heard Xiao Zhao's long speech, Yinren silently lit a candle for him in her heart. This guy usually likes to talk nonsense. In this kind of situation, he's still making up nonsense. The principal also used his gaze to kill Xiao Xiao. If he could kill him, he would have already stabbed him several times. But Xiao Xiao was like this. Director Feng's question was tricky. He was also caught red-handed. If he didn't defend himself, then what would he do? On the stage, Director Feng was so angry that he laughed. Except for the first sentence that was relatively pertinent, the rest of your words are nonsense. It seems that you often sleep in class, and even find excuses for sleeping. Sleeping in class is a very serious violation of the school rules. Why don't you reflect on yourself? Why are you still defending yourself? Principal Yi, is this how you teach students? Principal Ye's head was covered in cold sweat. He quickly stood up and said to Director Zhang, "Director, calm down. Students nowadays are all flamboyant. But Xiao Xiao is still very outstanding in other aspects. If there's anything lacking in this area, we'll slowly educate him when we go back." Slowly educate him? That's it. There's a problem from the root of his thinking. How do you educate him? Okay, then let me ask another student. Yanran, what do you think about sleeping in class? When Yanran heard this, she could only brace herself and stand up. She glanced at Xiao Xiao and then at Director Feng. I think sleeping in class is definitely wrong. Sleeping in class will make you miss the teacher's wonderful speech. At the same time, you'll have to spend time after class to make up for a lot of knowledge. It's not worth it. Her words were short and to the point. Director Feng nodded. You two are in the same class. Then it seems that it's not the teacher's education that has a problem, but your own personal understanding that has a problem. If I didn't come today, I wouldn't have been able to hear such a wonderful discussion. Principal, how do you think this matter should be handled? Director Feng, do you think this is okay? I'll have Xiao Xiao immediately write a 3,000-word self-reflection and hand it in. Let him reflect on himself. Principal Yi lowered his head and bowed as he hurriedly replied. What's the use of just writing a self-reflection? You have to do it in front of the whole school. You have to let him deeply understand his mistakes and correct them from the root of his thinking. This is a very serious ideological problem. If a student can't recognize his own position, then he'll be a cancer to society when he enters society. Director Feng's voice became louder and louder, and he began to bang the table. Xiao Xiao became angrier and angrier. According to his temperament, he must have flipped the table and quarreled long ago. However, Yanran's hand pressed tightly on his thigh, indicating that he shouldn't be impulsive. Xiao Xiao looked at the teacher's serious expressions. They all stared at him, as if they wanted to eat him. Then, he looked at Director Feng on the stage. His mouth opened and closed, and the words he said became more and more unreliable. He was so angry that a fire rose in his heart and went straight to his head. This bastard director was completely unreasonable. He was making a mountain out of a molehill. He was completely looking for trouble. He was about to talk back when Yanran's text came. Don't say anything now. Just bear with it, and it'll be over. He abruptly swallowed back the words of resistance in his mouth. Well, listen to Yanran. Bear with it, and it'll be all right. So Xiao Xiao was like a sawed-off gourd. He didn't say anything. He just lowered his head and didn't look at others, sitting there in a daze. Director Feng actually made a mountain out of a molehill, because he wanted to see Xiao Xiao's reaction. He had to find a way to solve the task that Elder Yin gave him. He knew that if people who really had devil chi heard these provocative words, or if they were wronged, they would definitely lose their cool. Not only would there be resentment, but there would also be resistance. Director Feng did this to provoke his resentment and resistance. However, he was like a machine gun on the stage, shooting at Xiao Xiao for nearly half an hour. This Xiao Xiao was like a tree hole as steady as Mount Tai. He was only responsible for receiving and never output. Could it be that Elder Yin was wrong? This was completely the reaction of a normal person. He didn't have a trace of devil chi on him. Director Feng had nothing more to say. This matter was settled. A 3,000-word self-criticism in front of all the teachers and students of the school. He finally added that the self-criticism must be handwritten and not printed. Xiao Xiao still bowed his head indifferently. He was only responsible for receiving. Director Feng saw that it was about time. Then, he asked a few other questions related to the students. He asked several other students to answer. Those people all answered reasonably. They had all memorized the answers in advance. The answers couldn't be wrong. You're tuning in to the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.